This program is made possible through the generous support of the City of Oceanside and Waste Management. The employees of Waste Management who work and live in your community wish the teams all the best. Think green. Think Waste Management.
Proud to present the high school football game of the week. Tonight, we're live from Simcox Field on the campus of Oceanside High School for tonight's crosstown rivalry game as the El Camino Wildcats, led by new head coach Pulu Pomele, take on the juggernaut, the number 1 ranked Oceanside Pirates. And good evening, everybody. My name is Art Root, joined tonight in the booth and down here on the field by former Oceanside High standout running back, also Palomar College and University of Hawaii standout, Josh Naliai. Is that good enough for you
That's
there, big
good.
boy?
That's
All
good.
right.
That's far
All
more
right.
than good.
Thanks for joining us again for the broadcast
Thank
tonight
you.
and for this season. Proud to bring you our first of 3 live high school football games this season right here on KOCT, so we thank you for joining us. Tonight's game, a big one, the rivalry matchup. You can chuck all the records right out the window for this one, Josh, because it doesn't really matter that El Camino is a struggling program trying to find their footing, or that Oceanside has won 5 straight CIF titles, because when these crosstown rivals take the field, only one thing matters, and that's Oceanside pride. As a former player for Oceanside, what does Oceanside pride mean to you taking the field against the hated rivals, the Wildcats?
Well, for me, in Oceanside, football is everything. There's a lot of respect for all the other sports that are taken here in Oceanside, but football sets the face for Oceanside High School, and it means everything to these players. They go to church with each other. They go to the same store. They're at the mall. They see each other all the time. So for them, it's something of great value, almost up to like a CIF championship standard.
And so neither squad has any trouble getting motivated for this one. El Camino will be sky high. They'll be coming out flying after the football. Oceanside as well. They're poised. They're a veteran squad. They know how to win. So we factored the emotion in. Both squads are going to be ready to go. Now let's get down to the reality. Does El Camino have a chance to pull off the upset tonight, Josh?
Well, Art, absolutely. El Camino does have a chance. And the reason why they do have a chance is that Oceanside has a young quarterback. He is a senior, but he's new. This is his first year starting. And if they're able to get pressure on Quintus Clark, the El Camino has a great chance. And they're going to be bringing Joita Te'i, Ryan Ina off the edge to cause some chaos for him to make some bad decisions. And if they're able to do that, they definitely have a chance.
Now for Oceanside to hold serve here in front of their home crowd, partisan crowd, they love the Pirates here. They pretty much have to just take care of business like they usually do, don't they?
Well, if they can get their athletes the ball, they got superstars at every receiver position. They got a superstar at the running back position. If they can get them the ball, it's game over for El Camino.
They are loaded at skill positions. We're going to take a look at the starting lineups for both squads.
Number 16, Joseph Rodriguez.
All right, we'll start. Of course, there you see the matchup tonight, Oceanside versus El Camino. John Carroll, incredible record as the Oceanside head coach. Pulu Pomele, former assistant for Coach Carroll, played for Oceanside. We'll talk more about him throughout the broadcast. For the Wildcats, you mentioned Te'i, O'Neill, Thomas McMasters. Who else? Ryan Ina. Who else stands out for you on that defense?
Well, Ryan Ina's key. J.J. Taele had a big game last week. But Ryan Ina, they're going to put him all over the field at defensive end, at safety, to put some pressure on that offense.
All right. And for the Wildcat offense, Colin Jones, it's his job now. Started last season as the backup. It's his team now, and they're expecting some efficient play out of him.
Yeah, Colin Jones is a leader. We talked to Pulu Pomele earlier, but Xavier Finney, who comes in at that running back position, the sophomore, is also pretty versatile himself.
Saw a little bit of him last week, and he's got a burst. He'll be fun to watch tonight.
He does. He reminds me of Marty Graham from Torrey Pines a while ago.
Absolutely. Then we go to the Oceanside side of the football. for the defense. A lot of terrific players, a heavily senior-laden lineup. You see 9 out of the 11 starters are seniors. Who stands out for you?
Well, they're strong all across. Thomas Malesi is somebody that's going to cause a lot of chaos. Jake Feely is coming off an injury, but he had over 100 tackles last year, and I expect him to continue that this year.
Lots of college-bound talent on this Pirates squad. 5 players have already committed to Division I schools, and I'm sure there's going to be more as well. As you see a look at the offense, Quentis Clark got some big shoes to fill with the departure of Jordan Wynn to the University of Utah. What do you think of Quentis Clark at quarterback?
Well, Jordan Wynn's going to be hard to replace, but if Quentis Clark can pace this offense, they're going to have a great chance. All he has to do is get them the ball. Any one of those star athletes, and they're going to do something big today.
The players at the skill positions, J.J. Whitaker, DeMario Coleman, the transfer, Devin Taverna, King Holder. Loaded at the skill positions are the Oceanside Pirates.
Coach Carroll likes Devin Taverna a lot, the transfer from Carlsbad.
Yeah, and what's not to like? This team, they just reload every season. So Oceanside loaded for bear. El Camino's going to be, they're upset-minded tonight. They're going to try and shock the world, shock the city of Oceanside. We'll see if they can do it. Football right around the corner. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, Stacy Castleton, our sideline reporter, is going to talk to the new El Camino head coach, Pulu Pomele. So stick around. High school football, our game of the week, gets live, and it's coming up next on KOCT.
In Oceanside, people work together to help the homeless, feed the hungry, provide a safe haven for women and children, support the arts and education, advance science and technology, and protect our environment. Thanks to the Oceanside Charitable Foundation, there is a vision of building a community endowment to help these Oceanside organizations and causes. Endow Oceanside is a partnership with the San Diego Foundation, whose sole mission is to connect people who care with causes that matter. When you endow Oceanside, you improve the quality of life within all of our communities by promoting and increasing responsible and effective philanthropy. Visit endowoceanside.org to find out how you can help those who make our community a better place to live. The Oceanside Charitable Foundation congratulates our 2009 grant awardees: YMCA Youth and Family Services, YMCA Street Outreach, and North County Lifeline, Inc., Oceanside Civic Leadership Project. Thank you for all the good work that you do in the community.
KOCT was there, covering the construction of Oceanside icons like the Civic Center and the Pier. KOCT was there to explore our history through the lives of Oceanside residents and share what mattered to them. KOCT was there to celebrate diversity at cultural festivals and capture the spirit of the city through its citizens. And after 25 years, KOCT is still here, providing North County with educational and entertaining community programs. And KOCT thanks you for watching and for your support through all these years.
Guys, I had a chance to talk with Coach Pulu Pomele before the game. He had to run because, as you know, this is a huge game for them with the rivalry game so early in the season. I started off by asking him what his experience has been like so far at El Camino, and he says it's been absolutely great. It's been very positive. The staff's been good, and the guys have been working really hard. I wanted him to sum up his offense and his defense in a nutshell for us so we kind of knew what to expect because it's all new for us tonight. He says, offensively, expect them to run the ball and try to maintain the run, and then hopefully that'll open it up for the pass. Defensively, they want to be very aggressive and force Oceanside to make some bad decisions because that's where the win is going to come into place. So they plan on getting at Clark. That's where it's going to have to start since their wideouts are so strong, and he says he doesn't want to get into the slot, wants to kind of shut down that part of the game. He says that before he was able to exchange a little bit of banter with Coach Carroll, but at the end they're all friends and everything's going to come out in the end anyway. Back to you guys.
All right, we're getting ready for... Thank you, Stacy, by the way, and we're going to set the stage here. Remember the events of 8 years ago the victims, the terrible attacks on September 11th. So we're going to pause and listen to the public address announcer talk about the special tribute tonight. So we're going to stand by and listen in.
Start this little.
A moment of silence, please, in memory. Thank you very much. And now, please, the presentation of our colors by the Oceanside High School Junior OTC and the national anthem by our marching band.
All right, Jake. All right, Josh. So I'm talking about my director as we present our colors. Presentation of our national anthem, and of course a moment of silence before that to remember the victims of the attacks on 9/11/2001, the 8-year anniversary today. It's right to take a moment to remember those people and remember that day and what it meant to this nation. So now we're ready for some high school football. Absolutely. So
Friday night in Oceanside.
Friday Night Lights, that's what it's all about. Art Root, Josh Naliai, our sideline reporter Stacy Castleton. We thank you for joining us tonight for live high school football right here on KOCT. Want to also thank our special sponsor, Waste Management. We are definitely ready for some football as you get a good look at the Oceanside squad. 5-time defending CIF champions, 2007 state champions. John Carroll has this team ready as he always does. They opened the season last week with a big win on the road, 11-hour bus trip. Break down that game a little bit for us, Josh.
Well, it was a game where they identified that Quintus Clark is somebody that can get it done. Also, J.J. Whitaker stepped his game up and had 10 catches for over 100 yards and pretty much solidified his being as a great player on this team. And Arizona is definitely appreciative of that. But it was a lot of time on the road. Coach Carroll got a chance to see how well his players got along, and he sees that this team has a lot of good chemistry.
All right, so and you see El Camino in the white jerseys come out onto the field, and it appears they are going to kick it away. Oceanside will get the ball first. Set to kick off for El Camino is Casey McPerry. And back to receive for Oceanside, Jerry Whitaker. That's going to get into the end zone. That will be an automatic touchback per high school football rules. So Oceanside will set up shop at the 20-yard line. Get a good look there at call me Jerry, call me JJ, call him Superstar. The guy is absolutely electric in the open field, and he'll be the first to admit he loves to get the football in space. Very comfortable in space. Oceanside's got to make it a point to get him involved in the offense early and often tonight.
Superstar, definitely. And one of the things that happened over the summer was that he gelled with Quintus Clark, and he became his favorite receiver, which is why he increased the loads that he's getting.
All right, so Oceanside will set up 1st and 10 from their 20. And the give there. Big hit there. Somebody loses a helmet. That's King Holder loses his helmet, but Jerry Whitaker with the gain. He's going to pick up a quick 5 yards on that as he just slashes outside, finds a little crease. Good pickup there on 1st down.
Yeah, King Holder's one of the 5 players that have already committed to a D1 school, and he's going to San Diego State next year. Expect a lot of big plays from him today.
Pitch there to Siluano. He finds a gap, and he is dragged down there. Looked like the ball was loose there for a second, but he pulled it back in. Siluano is going to be close to first down yardage, maybe just short by the nose of the football. Call it gain of 4, 3rd and short.
And Siluano actually has missed a lot of practice, did not play in the last game. So this is pretty much the first game that he has, and he's going to have to hold on to that ball. He was carrying it a little bit outside, and El Camino's going to look to make some turnovers today.
All right, so El Camino splits 2 men wide to the right. Siluano up the middle. He's going to fight for the first down yardage. It's going to be close, but I think he just picked it up. El Camino, or his Oceanside teammates, are signaling first down.
And Carroll knows that this is a big game. It looks like he's approaching it just like Pete Carroll did with Matt Barkley, in that they're going to start off running the ball, get him a little comfortable to the situation that he's in, and they're going to take advantage of their great playmakers that they have.
All right, looks like this is close. They may be thinking about a measurement here. I think by definition we can see that the nose of the football is just over the line, so that should be a first down, but that could be a deceiving camera angle. We're going to find out in a second.
And those chain men move a little bit.
Nope, he got it.
He got it.
First down, Pirates. Give Siluano 1 yard on the carry. He's got 5 yards here on this opening drive on 2 carries. And that's Oceanside's first down of the ball game.
And Carroll's going to come out and try to set the tone against this El Camino team. When there's a rivalry game, there's a lot of blood that's pumping through the players, and they're excited. This is one of the ways to slow it down and get them focused on what their main goal is.
Trips right. Little gadget play here for Oceanside. Instead, it looks like it goes to the up back. Was that a direct snap there? It kind of happened so fast. Didn't see what happened there, Josh.
He actually went in motion, and he handed it off right to him. But that looked like Joseph Darris was all over that. Seemed like Joseph was watching film. And I asked Pomele earlier today, who's the smartest player that you have on this team? And he said, football IQ-wise, it's Joseph Darris, son of the principal.
That's right. So he better be smart.
He better be.
He's getting watched like a hawk. All right, as we get a replay there, that's going to bring up a no gain on the play. 2nd and 10 as Whitaker goes in motion. Quentis Clark will roll to his right. He's got Whitaker King Holder wide open. Makes a move, turns it upfield to the 45, 40, 35, 30, 1 man to beat. No, he's going to get out of bounds. Heads up play by Joseph Darris. Pursuing on the play, hemmed him out, used the sideline as an extra defender, and it forced King Holder out of bounds, but not after a huge gain.
Yeah, King Holder and J.J. Whitaker look pretty much the same out there. We're going to get them confused a little bit today, but the reason why is because they're also both shifty, not only in body size, but they both got the ability to make people miss.
Going to get another look at this, Josh. See Clark buy some time.
And there you're going to see King Holder, his ability to see the field, make people miss, and he does have some speed on him as well. A breakout player last year in the playoffs.
44 yards on the pickup there. And it's 1st and 10 from the 24. Call that 46 yards on the game. Bad snap, and right there, that's J.J. Whitaker who falls on the football. Going to be a loss on the play. Going to knock it back to the 25-yard line. Loss of 1. I'll bring up 2nd and 11 for the Pirates.
Yeah, and they try to hit that quick up the middle. They had a little bit of trouble exchanging that a little bit earlier on the drive when they tried to go to King Holder that time.
Get another look at this one. Good tight shot there of Quentis Clark.
It's a really quick hitting play, and if they don't get it right on time, then it's going to break.
Quick hitter there. Little miscommunication. Devin Taverna running the post. I don't know if he maybe broke that route off a little bit earlier or just Quentis Clark led him too much. There is a penalty flag on the play.
Devin Taverna, the transfer from Carlsbad. Coach Carroll, as we mentioned before the show, really likes him a lot. You'll see him also playing on defense at the safety position.
Our officials talking about it. Chris Wiggins is our referee. David Arvizu, George Conley, Craig Gustafson, and Kevin Rathbun make up the crew. We're going to get the call.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
And what were we talking about? Well, actually, we haven't talked about it yet, but I know it's going to be a recurring theme for the El Camino program. Discipline.
Discipline. And that's definitely something that Pulu wanted to implement into this program. You know, one of his top priorities was to make sure that everybody was on the same page. You break any rules, no matter if you're a star, he's going to discipline everybody the same across the board.
Personal fouls, a decidedly undisciplined play. Siluano with the pitch. He is going to burrow forward to the 10, and second effort, then he got knocked backwards about 2 yards.
Yeah, very tough runner. Siluano was not the biggest of runners, but that time he just stuck his head up in there, and he paid for it on that second attempt.
And Justin McMasters was waiting for him. We're going to get another look at this one, Josh.
Yeah, you see him. He'll put his nose in there. He's a shifty back, but he's not afraid to run it right up the middle. Joita Te'i initially makes contact, and then McMasters comes in and finishes off.
That's good gang tackling there by El Camino. One guy with the shot and a second player to finish it off. Call it 2nd and 7 from the 10-yard line. Clark's going to roll left, looking towards the end zone, and kind of in the general direction there of King Holder was the short receiver. Devin Taverna was about 5 yards deep in the end zone. The pass missed both of them. It'll be 3rd and 7. It looks like Quentis Clark, maybe a combination of jitters and a combination of some pressure off the edge by El Camino. We knew they were going to bring a heavy pass rush tonight, and as advertised, they're doing it.
Yeah, they're doing it. They're trying to get into that quarterback's head. They're trying to make sure that he does not have the time to make the decisions to get it to any of those playmakers that they have.
3rd and 7 from the 10. Just underway. We're scoreless. Penalty flags. That's going to be a false start. False start against Oceanside, so back up 5 yards. It's going to make it 3rd and 12 from the 15-yard line. Clock stops with 8:19 remaining here in the first. It's rivalry night here at Simcox Field.
And it is jam-packed. We came early for the JV game, and we couldn't find parking here.
Yeah, you got to be within a 5-block radius of this campus. It is a tough place to find a parking spot on football night in Oceanside. And that pass airmails Devin Taverna, and yeah, Clark needs to settle down a little bit because Taverna was wide open. They had a little route set up there. He had some room to run, and they just couldn't connect. That's going to bring out the field goal unit for the Pirates. Jose Velasquez handles the kicking duties for Oceanside.
Yeah, Jose Velasquez, I believe he's a 3-year starter for this team. But as you see, Quentis Clark making a lot of rollouts. Doesn't seem to be comfortable as just a stand back in the pocket passer.
Thomas Molesi comes back out onto the field. We'll be keeping an eye on him tonight as well. Kick is on the way, and it's good. Oceanside strikes first tonight. They take the 3-0 lead. Oceanside's got to be pleased that they score on their opening drive, and El Camino maybe, if there's such a thing, a moral victory. They got gashed a little bit on the long gain, but otherwise the defense looked pretty good.
Yeah, El Camino's got to be happy that they held them to 3 on that time. The Pirates were moving the ball fairly well, and for them to just give up 3 on that drive, I think they're feeling pretty comfortable about that. If Quentis Clark brings those passes down, it's got to be a different score that's on the board. It's going to be at least 7 next time.
All right, so Oceanside, they can score early, late, and at all points in between. Very explosive ball club. We've been following them both teams for years on KOCT. It's been our pleasure to bring high school football to you. Watching these kids grow up, and many of them have gone on to Division I success. A few pros in the mix as well, and we've got some diamonds in the rough again here tonight. A lot of terrific players on both sides of the football, but notably Oceanside. They are loaded. Velasquez kick is on the way. It's going to get to the 2-yard line. That is a live, nope. That's going to get into the end zone. That touchback, I guess he did not touch it. So again, by rule, they'll bring that out to the 20.
It did look pretty close. And talking to Pomeli, we mentioned the D1 prospects. Dominique Markham, one of those kick returners in there, is someone that he's set to watch. He's got great speed and the ability to make people miss. And he's looking forward to him to having a big night tonight.
Yeah, 5 Pirates have already committed to Division I schools. That includes Jerry Whitaker, Thomas Molesi, Jake Feely, King Holder, and Renee Siluano. as we see El Camino take over, 1st and 10 from the 20. Colin Jones, the give there inside. Thomas Molesi was on the tackle. The ball carrier there was Xavier Finney. Wildcats very high on Finney.
Yeah, and those 2 D tackles are going to get a lot of penetration tonight for that Oceanside defense. And the guards and the centers are going to have a real hard time trying to stop those. So Andrew Yancey, Taryn O'Neill, and Joita Te'i are going to have quite a struggle tonight trying to stop those 2.
Loss of, we'll call it nearly 3 on the play, 2nd and 13 from the 17-yard line. Give to the up-back, Darris, and again swallowed up. In on the tackle was TJ Sunia. Another member of the all-hair team. Tom Sheridan had a great article in the North County Times about the Oceanside players and not cutting their hair and how it can be quite intimidating.
Yeah, it could
even
be.
to their own teammates who aren't accustomed to the kids with the long hair.
And I think that could be expanded to the El Camino team as well. You know, you see a lot of people with the long hair on their squad as well.
All right, that's going to bring up 3rd and 10.
Dead ball. False start. Offense.
That's a look at Colin Jones right there, the returning quarterback. Split time with Colton Morrison, who's at San Diego State. Will be joining 3 of the Oceanside Pirates, like you mentioned before. Renee Siluano, Jake Feely, as well as King Holder will all be taking their game to play for Brady Hoke next year for the Aztecs.
Yeah, talking about that article, Tom Sheridan's article in the North County Times last week, the players' aversion to barbers. But yes, you'll see plenty of players with plenty of hair sticking out of that helmet. As the throw goes to the left sideline there, great tackle. J.J. Whitaker, tackle in the open field of Dominic Markham.
J.J. Whitaker is intense. He knows this is a huge game. He loves to play every game, but you know that El Camino rivalry, that brings out stars. And I'm sure there's going to be a star that's born today, just as Thomas Molesi and DeMario Coleman were last year for Oceanside.
And we're going to get another look at this, and you see the quick throw out there to Markham, and Whitaker, textbook, just submarines him and takes him out in the open field. Perfect tackle. J.J. Whitaker plays in all 3 phases for Oceanside, as many of the players do, because he's back to return the punt. That's going to be whistled dead. Penalty flags on the play.
Defense still 4th down.
Yeah,
Whitaker
there's a
also
number of
plays
players.
on the I'm sorry, Josh. Whitaker also plays on the basketball team. So
point guard, lightning quick point guard.
Kid is a terrific athlete and very heady player, and just in his role with the basketball team is much like on the football team too. Moves great in space. Can create, can make things happen. All right, so we're going to try it again here. El Camino will kick it away. Pretty good punt taken by Whitaker at the 47-yard line. He's got room, and he's finally brought down at the El Camino 40. Gain of 13 on the punt return. Oceanside will have terrific field position.
Yeah, and on that time, pick your poison for El Camino. You got J.J. Whitaker back there and DeMario Coleman.
You saw Renee Siluano there, one of the all-hair team there.
All-hair Americans.
That's right. All right, so
there's J.J. Whitaker showing his ability to make some people miss. He's very great on the plant. He can also stop and go. Does both really well.
So Oceanside will take over in plus territory here. They're on El Camino's side of the field. A lot of penalty flags in the early going here.
A lot of flags early in the game. Both the teams need to just come in and relax.
1st down.
All right, some early rivalry game jitters, as undoubtedly guys on both sides of the line of scrimmage just want to smash the other one right in the mouth.
Both sides, anxious. That's what they've been telling all their classmates in school. You know, when I see this guy, when I see that guy, I'm going to take his head off. He better not cross the way today. And as soon as that aggression plays out, they can focus on their game plan and cut back on these flags and go ahead with their coach's schemes to try and be successful.
So back in the day when you were playing for Oceanside, we'll finish that thought in a second. Yeah, exactly. We'll pick that story up in a minute. I want to get your reflections on playing in the rivalry game. As the give there is to Siluano, and terrific gang tackle there. At the point of attack was number 5, and then cleaned up by...
That's Joita Te'i.
Yeah, Joita Te'i finished it up.
Yeah. Joita Te'i was playing at the middle linebacker position last week, and Pulu put him on the edge this week so that he can cause some ruckus in the backfield. We're going to take a look at it right here. He's going to come from that left side and just penetrates real quick. Him and Ryan Ina both in on the play.
And I misidentified that. I said 5. That was 51, of course, Joita Te'i. Definitely a playmaker for El Camino. Trying to set up the screen, and that's picked off by Te'i. And he's got some room to rumble down the field. A terrific play on defense for El Camino. Joita Te'i, he knew we were talking about him.
On signal, Joita Te'i causes some ruckus in the backfield and then comes up with the interception. Joita Te'i, another player that Coach Pomela said to watch today. He's going to put him in the positions to make plays, and he just did right there.
You got a good look there at Coach Pomela congratulating Te'i right on cue. The guy's got impeccable timing as he takes that pass and rumbles down the field. Look at the big fella go. Pretty light on his feet and then lowers his shoulder. So El Camino in business.
Great
First
field
and
position.
10 from the 31-yard line. Colin Jones will keep this one, and Siluano says, "You're not going anywhere."
Yeah, he faked out our camera guy on that one. Colin Jones, if he hits that corner, he's very fast. He's somebody that can turn the wheel. Last year we compared him to a Vince Young, and he'll do just that. He's able to throw the ball. He's able to take off and run. And
without all the off-field drama?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't think he's walking around with a gun.
Old VY will get it figured out, hopefully. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 12, 2-yard loss there. Jones back to throw, sets up, fires. Ball comes loose. A tremendous hit on that play. Ryan Ina with the catch, then the fumble, but El Camino does keep the football.
I already know what Coach Carroll's going to be saying in the film session on Saturday is, JJ, wrap up. You got to wrap up. Ina almost had a chance to hold on to that ball and continue moving forward. Just taking a look at this play, you're going to see Colin roll out, and he'll get it to Ina, who's going to make a lot of plays today, mark my words. But there's JJ Whitaker, who didn't wrap up, and if Ina breaks free, holds on to that ball, could be some extra yards there for the Wildcats.
All right, we got slow down in the action here. Looks like did El Camino call a timeout? They may have. We'll get confirmation on that.
Hearing some boos, hearing some cheers, all of the above. You'll hear everything because both sides of the stands are packed tonight.
Maybe some sort of dead ball situation. We're going to find out what's going on. All right. We're back in business. Clock running. 3:22 remaining here in the first quarter. Art Root, Josh Naliai, Stacy Castleton. Thank you for joining us tonight for live high school football. It's our game of the week on KOCT. Jones fakes it to Darris. That's a fumble. Siluano's got it. He's still on his feet to the 30. And he's finally tripped up, and he can't believe it.
Siluano tripped up by a Pirate. Oh, he's got to be heated. He's tripped up by the field on that one.
Somebody chalked the field a little too thick, or there was a patch of grass that didn't get mowed or something, because he had nothing but green grass in front.
Renee's got to be upset at himself.
We're going to get another look at this. Let's see if something takes him off the hook. Maybe somebody ran into him. We're going to find out here shortly. All right, let's see. He could go. Oh no! All right, looks like he was tripped up by his teammate. That was Noah Tarrant. They just got their feet tangled up and takes a touchdown off the board for Oceanside.
Renee's
Nevertheless,
definitely going to give him some words.
Yeah, that's a talk about Oceanside pride. His Oceanside pride's going to be wounded on that one. Going to get some serious razzing in the film session when they break this one down, but terrific play on defense for Oceanside, and Renee Siluano, a playmaker, another one of those playmakers for the Pirates.
Yeah, another one of those playmakers. And Noah was probably thinking, you know what, if I'll trip Renee, I might hurt his ankle again and get back on the field, which is where he's at right now. Noah is Renee's backup, but I'm sure he didn't do that intentionally, guaranteed.
He had a convoy. That's what you want. You've got a wingman who's ready to escort you into the end zone, and they just tangled feet. And the result, well, 1st and 10 from the 25 for Oceanside, as we got some back-and-forth action with fumbles, interceptions, and Oceanside with the early 3-0 lead as Clark changes the play at the line of scrimmage, going to send Whitaker in motion. And what do you know, another penalty.
Looks like they got an early start on that right side of the ball.
Dead ball. False start. Offense.
And another false start for Oceanside.
The center.
Wanted to get that running start like you get in the Canadian Football League, but I guess that's not quite allowed. Looks like the Pirates' timing is off just a little bit tonight. We've been spoiled by their incredibly efficient and explosive offense the last couple of seasons with Jordan Wynn at the helm. So with Quentis Clark, a new era for Oceanside football, and may take some time for him to fully sync up with his teammates. He was efficient last week, however, in the game in Nevada. And the pass there is complete with some room to roam. That's Demario Coleman. He's going to take it down to the 14-yard line. Gain of 19 yards for the Pirates, and that was a nifty little play.
And that's what you want. You want those quick passes where he knows where he's going to go from the start of the snap. You know, those quick passes. And Demario Coleman, he'll make a small play into a big one. 2 touches last week, both of them over 50 yards. Taking a look right here, Quintus, 3-step drop, dumps it off to Coleman, makes somebody miss, and he turns it upfield. He'll break a couple tackles here and there, but that time getting wrapped up by Dominic Markham.
2:49 remaining here in the first quarter. Oceanside leads 3-0 in the rivalry game. Because of the league reshuffling, we now have the rivalry game early in the season. No matter. Used to be a Week 10 tilt. It doesn't matter if they play Week 2, Week 10, Week 5. This is always circled on the calendar as a very big game for both squads. Nifty little hand up there to Whitaker, who makes a bounce, and he is going to catapult his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Pirates.
Wow.
And what can you say? JJ is dynamite.
If you're playing on the Madden sticks, JJ just took the left analog and he threw it all the way to the left and made that player miss and just took it in. It looked like a video game out there.
What's that move on the Xbox?
That's that left analog.
Nice.
Juke move.
All right, so we're going to see the juke move here. Bam, right there. And that might be a jock strap left there at about the 10-yard line. The kick is good. That's going to make the score 10-0.
And the thing is, he does that same thing on the basketball court. He crosses people up. He breaks people's ankles. He does that as well on the football field.
I've had the pleasure of calling many games for Oceanside basketball, El Camino basketball as well. And, yep, seen J.J. Whitaker sprain a few opponents' ankles in the day. So, little hyperbole, but not too much. He is an explosive player, fun to watch. And Oceanside's loss will be Arizona's gain come next fall on the Division I level.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're going to use him as much as they do here at Oceanside, but it would be wise. That's his 3rd touchdown of the season.
All right, so Oceanside very tidy on that drive. They capitalize on the turnover. It just takes them a couple plays to punch it in. And Jose Velasquez will kick it off to El Camino, finding themselves down 10-0 here in the first quarter. Good kickoff taken at the 5-yard line. That's Dominic Markham. Decent pickup there out to the 26. Gain of 21 on the kick return. And El Camino really needs to get something going on offense because this can have a snowball effect. If that Oceanside offense gets a rolling, it could be a very, very long night for the Wildcats.
And the thing is, you don't want, if you're an El Camino Wildcat, you don't want Quintus Clark to have the confidence that it's looking like he's about to get. The more comfortable he gets, the better you're going to see this offense operate.
Good look there at Colin Jones and some of his offensive linemen there. The center is number 70. That's Andrew Yancey. As they send a receiver in motion and tackled in the backfield. Xavier Finney, the ball carrier. Sam New on the tackle.
I'm just going to throw it out there, but Sam knew where the ball was going on that one. He took it off. He had a running start on that, and he just took him out in the backfield.
Throw it out there all night long. I love it. I'm just ticked that you beat me to it. So. All right, loss of 2 on the play. That'll bring up 2nd and 12 for El Camino. Jones rolls to his right. Throw is too tall. Devin Taverna on the coverage. Intended receiver there was Dominic Markham. Jones really zipped that in there, but just too tall for his receiver.
Yeah, he threw it up too tall. He did have the time, though. I got to praise that El Camino offensive line early in the game. They are giving him enough time to make the choices. It's a lot of tight coverage, and the balls are a little bit high.
What kind of scheme are you seeing Oceanside run on defense right now?
Well, I see them blitzing a lot, but if El Camino can catch them in the flats off that blitz, they're going to definitely tear it up.
Jones has his work cut out for him here on 3rd down, and penalty flags. And that'll go against the Wildcats.
And what they're doing is they have a lot of linebackers on the field, but they're dropping their linebackers into coverage. They're also bringing Thomas Malesi off the front and putting him in that linebacker position. I can count 4 linebackers that they already have on the field right now. And if you include Malesi in that, that's 5.
All right, trips right for the Wildcats. Jones, 5-step drop. He is going to step up in the pocket, and he is going to get sacked. 54 and 78 in on the stop. That's Marcus Tokyo and Thomas Molesi.
Seems like we just got to keep saying these players' names. As soon as we mention their name, they come up with a big play. Thomas Molesi coming up on the play with that. You're going to see him. He's going to get some penetration. And one thing that they mentioned about him is that he has a motor. He doesn't stop. You see him miss on the first one, but then he comes right back around to finish off the play, him and Marcus Tokyo.
And I don't know if that was a fake or a broken play, but Elijah Ato, we'll get a correct pronunciation on his name. The pass falls incomplete. He had a receiver open. Pretty good play there.
Pomele coming out with that Boise State approach, using the special team fakes early on, and he put it right in the hands of that receiver, Elijah Ato. I'm not sure if it was meant for that, but he scrambled out, and he put it right in the hands of that receiver.
All right, so Oceanside will take over with great field position. 1st and 10 from the 19 of El Camino. And you get a good look there at head coach Pulu Pomele. In his first year as the new head coach for El Camino. Last year, of course, at San Marcos, went 2-8.
I got to say, he's looking pretty comfortable in that brown and gold for being a former Pirate. You know, our saying is once a Pirate, always a Pirate. but there are a lot of Pirates on that coaching sideline.
Well, Stacy Castleton talked about that in her opening report, and it's got to be kind of weird lining up on that sideline, but it's a head coaching opportunity, and you jump at those chances. Throw is complete, and that didn't take long. J.J. Whitaker, touchdown Pirates. One play, 19 yards, and the blowout is on early. El Camino has got to be shocked.
J.J. Whitaker is the real deal. And on that time, Quintus Clark had some time. Kenny Aliai rolled out to the left, made a block, and you see J.J. Whitaker up there. He's still hyped. He's also the guy that holds the field goal.
Holds for field goals, returns kicks, plays offense and defense. What can't he do? Hold is down, kick is on. That kick was crushed. That extra point would have been good from 45. It's good, and Oceanside leads 17-0.
You know, I do this a lot, but I'm going to compare him again. You know, like the way that the Pirates are using him is kind of like Eric Weddle back at Utah. Taking a look back at this, Quintus Clark. There's the seal right there. He gets the extra time right into Whitaker's hands, and he's going to go heads up, and he's powerful for a little guy, and he gets up in there over Xavier Finney.
And how heads up was that? Because it looked like they were going to have him down at about the half-yard line, but he extended the football forward before his knee touched the ground. Touchdown Pirates.
Whitaker's a smart player, and that's why they use him a lot. You know, you got to be smart in order to understand all the defensive schemes, all the offensive schemes, being out there on punt, holding it for the PAT. A lot is on his plate.
I'm sorry, Josh. Good look there. Head coach John Carroll. His record well documented. 11 section titles for Oceanside. He's won 9 of those. And 1 state title. Short kick.
Yeah, Carroll's a living legend. Done a lot for this program. Just pumps them out every year.
But again, about Coach Carroll's record, his overall record at Oceanside, 179, 64-4 over 20 seasons.
All the fans love him. The parents love him. Every player that plays for him enjoys playing for him. And he's a great guy. He builds character in a lot of players as well.
And another great guy who's beloved by the fans of Oceanside. We just got to look at Herbie there, who's giving the Bell a workout tonight. 1st and 10. And Colin Jones visibly frustrated there as another penalty stops play.
Still first down.
36 seconds remain here in the first quarter. Oceanside has jumped to the early 17-0 lead, and El Camino has got quite a mountain to climb. And any other cliches I can think of, I'll throw them in there through the telecast. This is our first of 3 live high school football games of the week this season on KOCT. In 2 weeks, we've got a big one. Oceanside plays Long Beach Poly.
Wow.
One of the most storied programs, not only in Southern California, but in the nation. They've produced more NFL players than any other high school. We'll talk more about that in a bit, as Jones will keep it, and he is buried by Molesi. That's going to be another loss on the play. That will wind the clock down to end the first quarter. As you see, 20 seconds left, so El Camino is shell-shocked. Oceanside's got to be feeling pretty good about things right now. They're going to switch sides with a 17-0 lead after 1 quarter of play.
Yeah, and you mentioned climbing up a mountain, but it's something that they can still do. There's still 3 quarters left. They got some athletes on this team. They just got to stick to their game plan and start working it.
A lot of football left. We are going to throw it down to the sideline. We've got a report from Stacy Castleton. So go ahead, Stacy, take it away.
As you guys were just talking about, and I'm sure will continue to come up for the rest of the evening, is Coach Pulu and Coach Carroll date back for 20 years. Since 1989, when Coach Carroll started here at Oceanside. Pulu was a player, then went on to be a defensive coordinator for him for several years before leaving for a head coaching position at San Marcos. Now at El Camino, Coach Carroll says seeing Pulu in brown and gold is very different, to say the least. But he says all those feelings have to be pushed aside for one night. He says because both coaches agree that tonight the other is here simply to make the other team lose. While they're confident that a lot of their philosophies are probably similar and they're also aware of the kind of strategies that each is going to use, it's the wrinkles in the plan that are ultimately going to be the game changers tonight. The amount of respect on a professional and a personal level that each of these men have for one another is extremely touching and also dissimilar in a sort of way. Coach Carroll exudes a friendly but also a fatherly sort of respect for Pulu, whereas Pulu is almost in awe of everything Coach Carroll has been able to accomplish and says that he wishes that he can accomplish at least half or maybe only as much as Coach Carroll has been able to do in his time. Bottom line, these two, win or lose, the friendship will always remain. Back to you.
Great report, Stacy, as we get a look at the human side of football coaching between these two great rivals, the respect that John Carroll and Pulu Pomele have for each other. It is a deep and abiding respect, and it's a credit to both programs and a great hire by El Camino to bring Pulu on board. And he's got quite a role model to emulate in Coach Carroll on the other sideline. We are back to live action here. Going to have a second down coming up for, I beg your pardon, make that third down for El Camino as they struggle to get something going on offense.
Yeah, they're struggling early. They want to try to get Xavier Finney the ball, to lighten up those defensive backs.
Ina in motion. Jones looking deep. He's got a receiver open. Just overshoots Tony Henderson there on the go pattern.
Jones has the arm strength, as you've seen right there, and he placed it in the right position. That receiver definitely has to come up with the ball on that one. Jones is doing his part. The receiver needs to do their part to get something going for this Wildcats team.
Henderson had a step, so El Camino trying to stretch the Oceanside defense out a little bit. But that will bring up a 4th down and 6, and the Wildcats will punt it away. No fake this time. Ato will kick it away. And a fair catch there by Demario Coleman at the 34-yard line.
Fair catch by Demario that time. Once he gets going, man, he's hard to stop. Extremely fast. And just like the rest of the receivers, can make the cuts as well. Actually, the leading returning receiver last year, even though he was only a sophomore, caught the most balls and got the most yards last year.
All right, want to thank our special sponsor once again tonight. It is Waste Management. And we certainly appreciate their support this football season. As Renee Siliwana with the carry on first down, penalty flag here on the near sideline. We're going to stand by and see the call from our officiating crew.
He never set. Legal shift. Offense. Hang on.
All right, that's going to go against the Pirates. So back up 5 yards, and Oceanside will face, as they mark it off here, we'll get your down and distance here in just a moment. All right, back to, as we see our officials sort this out.
Offense. Repeat second down.
All right, so again for the Pirates as they take over on offense. Quentis Clark under center. Great look there at the Oceanside offensive line. Clark back to throw. All kinds of pressure. Stays on his feet, and he is going to be met. Finally dragged down, but a decent pickup there. Looked like he was going to have that play destroyed in the backfield, but actually got it back to the line of scrimmage. So heads-up play by Clark.
Yeah, that was Ryan Ena bringing the pressure on that time. Quintus Clark actually had 15 carries last year and was moving the ball on the ground, 151 yards last year, was more of a runner than a passer when he would come in for Jordan Wynn last year, and you're showing why. He definitely has the agility. Taking a look at this replay, he'll drop back, and he'll make some people miss. Even in the scrimmage last year, he took one against Torrey Pines for a touchdown. Could have been almost a face mask right there, but he's fighting for those extra yards.
Broke a couple of tackles, and then Ena gets back into the play and makes the stop. We're going to reverse it. Demario Coleman. He's going to get it out to the 34-yard line. A little trickeration there by John Carroll. He dials one up.
Yeah, he goes with the reverse. And on that time, Quintus Clark doing his Brett Favre impersonation, going out there and willing to put his head in the knees of some of the defenders to get some more yards for his ball player.
All right, that's going to bring up a 3rd and 10 for the Pirates. I think that's Willie Buchanan to the right there. Oceanside legend and an occasional contributor here on KOCT.
Yeah, that's senior and junior over there on the sidelines.
That's right. Yeah, Willie Buchanan, take your pick.
Yeah.
We're going to
there you can see that reverse, and there's Quentin Clark comes up and just gets a nice block on that one. And then a little buck right there by Demario Coleman continues to drive his feet. Marcus Tokyo wasn't there. Maybe he gets more yards.
All right, 4th down and a rare punting situation for Oceanside. Low snap, got to get this kick away. Velasquez does, aims it towards the sideline. Takes an Oceanside bounce, and it's going to go out of bounds at the 38-yard line. El Camino will take over there, 1st and 10. Net of 28 on that punt for the Pirates.
Colin Jones needs to come back out here and start doing something with this offense. We already seen his arm strength. Keep airing it out. But only a couple more of those passes and his confidence will start to go down. So he needs to start connecting on those plays as he comes out here. Xavier Finney also in the huddle. Dominic Markham. Pick your choice of their weapons. They got some talent as well. That's Willie Buchanan, as we were talking about earlier, roaming the sidelines.
One of the most acclaimed athletes in Oceanside High School history, and one of the nicest people you'll ever meet as well. So good to see Willie out here tonight, who frankly does not miss any home games, period.
And there might have been a misread on that. Looks like Colin Jones was aiming for Dominic Markham, and they're having some words with each other. Can't start arguing. Once you start arguing, game over. Once you start not getting along with your own players, you know, the communication goes sour and nobody's connecting with anything. So they got to keep their heads up. Colin Jones has to be the leader that all the coaches said he is, and I'm sure that he will be.
I'm sure that Coach Pomele and the entire Wildcat squad is just thinking we need just one big play to spark something here. So they're trying to find it as Jones rolls to his left. Just way too much defensive pressure. Great penetration there. You see number 21, number 56. That's Sam New. Philip Lopez, Jake Feely all in on the play for the Oceanside Pirates. And get a good look at those two gentlemen right there.
Yeah, pressure was coming from everywhere on that one. And you're right, Sam New, Thomas Molesi, Brian Dang also in there causing some ruckus.
All right, that's going to bring up a 3rd and 13 for El Camino. And that's going to be a false start. It looks like Eric Taylor in the El Camino backfield flinched.
offense.
When it rains, it pours, and as you mentioned that mountain earlier, it is getting a little bit more steeper for these Wildcats.
7:52 remaining here in the first half. All right, this gives me a chance to give our sponsor a more formal thank you. From the employees of Waste Management who work and live in your community, we wish the teams all the best. Think green, think Waste Management. And the El Camino offense is thinking green because green has been in their backfield most of the game so far. The gang green of Oceanside's defense as Jones fires complete to Ina. Terrific play there in the open field. Great route. Pass complete. Going to be really close to first down yardage.
And Jones saw something that he liked before the play because he gave the thumbs up, and he was giving that thumbs up to Ina. Ina making a big play right there.
Looks like Ina might have been shaken up on the play there. He is going to take a breather on the sideline. Nope, they're going to be a couple yards short. The spot fooled me there. That happens pretty regularly. I guess I need new glasses, or maybe it's plexiglass needs a little Windex.
It looked like they got close to me as well.
Very short kick. One thing going for it, pretty good hang time, and it takes it Oceanside bounce. Everything going the Pirates' way tonight. And that's got to be very frustrating for the punter for El Camino. So the Pirates will take over. 6:25 remaining here in the first half. And Oceanside will have terrific field position once again on their own 47-yard line.
Yeah, definitely very frustrating for a team. Once you have a big play like that, you're expecting for it to be a first down and to keep the chains moving. And for them to have to come out and punt once again, deflates all of the players on this team as well as the fans. They're extremely quiet over there on that El Camino side.
Siluano in the backfield. Split left is Devin Taverna. Whitaker in motion. The give to Siluano with a head of steam. Looks like forward progress is going to take him close to midfield. We'll call it a gain of 3 on the play. 2nd and 7 for the Pirates. Jacob Thomas in on the stop for El Camino.
Yeah, speaking of Jacob Thomas, Pulu implemented a foundation on this squad, and that's a crew of players that they take whatever the players say and they voice it to the coaches. There's about 7 of them on that. Jacob Thomas is one of them.
Clark looks like he's changing the play. Going to send King Holder in motion. And the pitch there to Siluano. Bounces it outside. Nowhere to go. Dominic Markham on the stop. Also joined by a couple of teammates. Ryan Ina. Joseph Darris. Eric Taylor may have been in on that stop as well. So a host of El Camino tacklers there.
As well as Devin Taverna. Renee's got to be wondering, what did he do to his teammates this week? That's the second time that a teammate has helped in bringing him down. We're going to take a look at this replay right here. Siluano's going to take it to the corner, but Devin Taverna running into him. And it must be something about him not practicing that the players didn't appreciate, because they have definitely been a factor in him not getting extra yards today.
And J.J. Taele. Oh, what a play! J.J. Whitaker may single-handedly wear out our replay machine tonight.
J.J. Whitaker is looking like an absolute animal today. Every time the ball goes to him, he's making some big plays. One-handed, bobbles it, takes the hit, and he holds on to it. J.J. Whitaker, simply amazing so far today, leading towards my player of the game if the Pirates continue today.
The circus is in town tonight. Juggling catch by J.J. Whitaker. First down Pirates at the El Camino 40. Deep drop for Clark. He is going deep. And DeMario Coleman almost made a sensational grab. Absolutely perfect coverage there as that Can't tell who was on the coverage there, but he is shaken up on the play.
And that's an excellent play by DeMario Coleman, not only on the route he ran, but also on his ability to break up that pass, because it would have been going the other way if he wasn't there. Quintus Clark showing a little bit of arm strength, but placing it not in the best place for this Oceanside offense.
Elijah Atto, go with the third different pronunciation of his name tonight, and we apologize if we are not getting it right. Sometimes
one of them will be right.
Sometimes we get multiple pronunciations on these names, so we will strive to get that right. But shaken up on the play, terrific play on defense, and Coleman a great effort on offense. And that pass is complete to Coleman. He is stopped in the open field by Dominic Markham. Going to get down to the 27-yard line. That's good enough for an Oceanside first down.
Right back to Coleman, as we said before, very explosive. Get him the ball any way you can, because he's going to make some plays. And we're going to take a look at this right here. Quintus Clark, quick drop back, gets it right to Coleman as he works his way across the field. Great field vision, just unable to get free of that ankle tackle on that one.
Pitch to Siluano. This play is going to be whistled dead. Another penalty flag.
False start. Offense. Still first down.
J.J. Whitaker wearing out the replay machine, and the officials are wearing out my pencil from all these slash marks I'm making for the penalties being called tonight. So both squads very penalty prone tonight for whatever reason. See a substitution for Oceanside.
Looks like it was Tele Lavea.
Tele Lavea comes in, and you definitely can't miss him at 5'10", 290 pounds.
We call that a bowling ball.
Clark back to throw. That pass is tipped. Not sure who got that. Earlier I was going to mention that J.J. Taele with the long hair and the number 43, total Troy Polamalu clone out there.
You think 43, hair way past the shoulders? And I think you're correct on that. That was J.J. Taele on the tip. Last week, came up with 3 sacks in the game. He's definitely a leader for this defense.
All right, Quintus Clark back to throw. They try a little inside screen. There's Siluano. That little bubble screen. Find some room to operate there. Pick up of, we'll call it 5 on the play. That's going to bring up a 3rd and, we'll give him 6. Call it 3rd and 9 on the play.
That's a play that Oceanside really likes to use. It's that slime it F, where they'll put the running back to the right, make him look like he's going to block, then he'll turn around for it. We're going to take a look right here. Siluano creeps up to the line like he's going to block, draws the defenders past him, and tries to turn it up. But just seeping through that was Eric Taylor on the tackle.
He had big Jared Conway and David Vasquez out to block for him. But again, El Camino finds a little crease, shoots the gap, and defender makes a nice play.
Dead ball.
Another penalty here.
Defense. Still 3rd down.
While there's the dead ball, Quintus Clark's going to run all the way over to the sideline and talk to Coach Carroll.
It's a good look at the offensive line
for Oceanside. They are big and athletic. Jared Conway and Tele Lavea. We want to mention all these guys.
David Vasquez, Kenny Aleai, and Marquise Tokyo. Most of those players go both ways.
Third and 5 for Oceanside. The give there is to King Holder. Got some room to run. That 5'10", 165-pound senior. Markham with the stop for El Camino.
They're going back to that quick trap right up the middle. King Holder saying, don't forget about me. I got the shake'ems too. You give me the ball. I'll make something happen as well.
Gain of 12 for the Pirates there. That's going to bring up a 1st and goal for Oceanside. And Herbie is getting the crowd into it like they needed any encouragement tonight. The give to Siluano. Ryan Ina and Joseph Darris on the stop.
Siluano having a tough night tonight. Just can't get anything going. Siluano definitely a player that can make some things happen, but just tonight seems to be the Siluano jinx. Every time he gets the ball, it just doesn't click as well as it's been for the rest of the offense.
All right, so while Rene Siluano takes his lumps tonight, Oceanside moving smartly into scoring territory here. They've got a 2nd and goal situation. Clark back to throw, lots of time, fires. Pass was underthrown. Dominic Markham made a move on the football. If Clark had put a little bit more air under that, Markham may have taken it for a touchdown.
Yeah, there was also a lot of green behind Devin Taverna. A lot of end zone behind him that he could have made a chance to come up with a big play. Quintus Clark needs to get his eyes on the right target because he's not putting it in the right position sometimes.
Yeah, it looks like he just short-armed that one a little bit because he certainly had an open receiver in the end zone. If he puts a little bit more air under it, it goes back for 6 for El Camino. If he really lofts it back towards the corner, towards the pylon, it's a touchdown for Oceanside. So it's a touch throw. He'll get better with more reps. Fumble. Or at the very least, some trouble on the exchange there. Oceanside will keep it. All right, we're winding it down to just 1 minute remaining here in the first half as the Pirates send on the field goal unit.
So look at Thomas Molesi right there coming off the field. He's headed to Oregon State next year. A great player both ways for this Oceanside team.
Field goal try is on the way, and it is no good.
You won't see that very often. He's a great kicker, makes a lot of those kicks. He's got to be upset at himself coming off the field with his head down. Doesn't even give a dab to Rene Siluano on that one.
Yep, looks like hooked left there for Velasquez, so the score will remain 17-0. Oceanside in control. 34.9 seconds remain here in the first half. If you're El Camino, I was going to say, you don't take a knee here. You try and make something happen. You never give up, so they're going to do that as Jones gets under center. Back to throw. He is going to put it up, and that pass is complete. That's Ryan Ina.
Yeah, that's Ryan Ina on the grab. He's a great player. They need to get him more involved. Last year he had a 26-yard touchdown against the Pirates. He's a playmaker. Colin Jones to Ina is something that they need to continue to do. Also get Dominic Markham involved, as well as Elijah Atoe getting a good look right there. He also serves as the punter as well as a safety for this Wildcats team.
Jones back to throw. Complete to Atoe. Still fighting for yardage. He's finally going to get brought down there at midfield.
Atoe got tangled up right there. He's still sitting on the field. One of 3 players that didn't play last week for this Wildcats team, including Ina as well as Cedric Te'i. And as we mentioned before, Pulu Pomele said that if he had those 3 players, it'd be a different outcome last week. But so far today, they don't seem to be making that much of a difference versus this highly powered Oceanside team. Going back, taking a look at Colin Jones.
And you're going to see this was a pretty tough tackle. That was Ina on the play before. As you see, Atoe is still down. We'll try and cue up that replay, but in the meantime, he is still down. Based on the way they're looking at him, I can't tell if that's a cramp situation. He is really in some pain. We'll try and get a report on what's going on down there. Don't know if that's just a cramp or if that is a more significant injury. Really not sure.
It looks like that right ankle, twisted a little bit. That trainer is holding on to that right ankle. As we take a look at it right there, he's coming up and he's feeling it. As soon as she puts pressure on that, she's feeling it.
Working on his right calf. So that could be indicative of a cramp, so we'll see what happens there. But he really got tangled up there. Body's flying, and it looked like his leg got bent around at a funny angle. But the way he's stretching out, that definitely looks like a cramp. And he is up. And he looks like he's going to be okay. A little bit gingerly heading to the sidelines, favoring that right leg.
And he's somebody they need in the game. He's one of Jones's 3 favorite targets out there, and he needs to be out there if they want to keep on pushing this ball down the field before we go into the half. I'm sure they're going to air it out, and I'm sure it's either going to be Ina or Markham that's going to be on the receiving end of Jones's pass.
Well, this El Camino never say die attitude here in the closing seconds of the first half has them in range for at least another out, or you could take a shot at the end zone here with a Hail Mary if you like, but I'm sure they'd like to get a little bit closer. Jones with Polumalu coming off the edge. Jones will get out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. 6 seconds tick off there. We're down to 3.8. That was J.J. Taele. I beg your pardon. Wrong side. That was T.J. Sunia on the play there on defense.
Yeah, they both got their Polumalu versions, but they also got Colin Jones on that Wildcats offense that is able to break free at the drop of a dime, and he'll do it today, I guarantee.
All right, 3.8 remaining. El Camino probably just going to throw into the end zone here from the 39-yard line. 2 receivers split left, 2 receivers at the bottom of the screen. Jones trying to buy some time. He is looking deep. And the pass is intercepted by King Holder, and that will end play here in the first half. So Oceanside in control. The Pirates lead 17-0 in the crosstown rivalry game. It's been all Pirates so far. Josh, your thoughts on the first half?
Oceanside looking really dominant right now. Aside from the flags, it looks like a team that came out ready to play today. Taking a look at Colin Jones, he's scrambling out to the right. You see the arm strength that this kid has, but those defenders for Oceanside, it's a stingy defense, and they're not going to give up big plays. As you see right here, King Holder goes up and makes the athletic grab, stays in bounds, and comes up with an interception.
All right. So you see our score here. Oceanside leads 17-0. We are going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have halftime festivities, thoughts on the first half of play, and then right around the corner, we'll have second half action. You're watching the high school football game of the week live on KOCT.
Oceanside has so much going on. Dia de los Muertos, Harbor Days, the parades, and a whole slew of surf competitions, and KOCT covers them all. Want a copy of the band's Triple Crown or the Defenders of Freedom Parade? These programs and others can be yours on VHS and DVD, a service of Oceanside Community TV. Call KOCT at 722-4433 or visit us on the web at koct.org.
At times of emergency, it's important to be prepared, and it's best to think first about the basics of survival: fresh water, food, and shelter. Here's how to be prepared. Get a kit, make a plan, and stay informed. It's easy to assemble a basic emergency survival kit. Your kit should be ready to sustain you for at least 3 days. Your family may not be together when disaster strikes, so know how to contact one another, how to get back together, and what to do in different situations. Stay informed about emergency plans already established in your area by state and local government. Knowing what you will do during an emergency may have life-saving consequences when seconds count. Be sure to tune in to KOCT Channel 18 for Oceanside updates and Channel 19 for countywide information.
All right, you see our halftime score, Oceanside 17, El Camino nothing. You're watching the high school football game of the week right here on KOCT. We are live, and we are brought to you by Waste Management. Art Root, Josh Neliati, Stacy Castleton. We thank you for joining us tonight. We thank you for sticking around right now for the halftime festivities as the band is getting in position. So it's a tradition, Friday night football, part of the pomp, the circumstance, the pageantry, as the band takes the field for your entertainment. It's been all Oceanside so far tonight as the Pirates defending their #1 ranking with vigor tonight. So far through 24 minutes of football, they've been very impressive. The only blemish tonight really for both squads, a lot of penalties, but Oceanside clearly the better squad so far through one half. El Camino really needs to get something going in the second. So we'll see if they can find some motivation. Maybe a pep talk from Coach Pomelli, but we're going to take a look at the band. So relax and enjoy the halftime festivities right here on KOCT.
Please support the band in our 70th season and help send our award-winning drum line to the WGI World Percussion Championships. Oh, there we go. The WGI World Percussion Championships in Dayton, Ohio this April by purchasing a 70th anniversary t-shirt at our booth by the entrance. You can also win big cash prizes by entering our Cow Pie Bingo contest. Thank you. Good night.
Express yourself. Explore teen summer reading at your library.
We all have stories to tell. Our lives have brought us through many changes, many captured memories. We have invented, we have explored, we have grown, and we have loved. Turn the pages of history with host Tom Morrow on Living Legacies, as local residents share their fascinating stories. Tune to Channel 18 to watch Living Legacies daily. Visit KOCT.org for our online schedule and to watch the show streaming live. What will your legacy be?
All right, welcome back. Halftime continues here from Simcox Field in Oceanside. We're live. It's the high school football game of the week on KOCT. Art Root, Josh Naliai, Stacy Castleton. And speaking of Stacy, we are going to throw it down to the sideline with her in just moments. She's got Osmond Nicholas, Oceanside alum, and you know a little bit about Osmond Nicholas's game, don't you, Josh?
Yeah, he's over there at San Diego State now. He's going to be joined by a couple more athletes next year. A great receiver who had a breakout time in the summer passing league last year that earned him a scholarship, essentially, now at San Diego State.
Yeah, he's going to be one to watch. Another one of these local athletes that Brady Hoke is trying to get more of these kids to stay right here in San Diego. So I'm sure they've got high hopes for Osmond Nicholas. So we are going to throw it down to the sideline with Stacy and Osmond Nicholas. Stacy, whenever you're ready.
Hey guys, I'm down here on the sideline. Osmond Nicholas came out to watch the Pirates play tonight. He's a 2008 Oceanside alumni receiver playing for the San Diego State Aztecs. Osmond, tell me about your experience so far at San Diego State.
So far, San Diego State's been treating me pretty well. You know, practice is harder, faster, bigger players, but overall it's a big welcome. Everybody's nice. Class is hard to adjust to, but it's pretty nice there.
Now you're redshirting this year, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what's the adjustment been like? I mean, I know you said that it's bigger players and whatnot, but how has it been on you? And what's the practice schedule like, and trying to balance school and everything since school's back in session?
It's pretty hard. You know, school, you got to schedule your classes around your football schedule, pretty much 2 to 6 practice. Study hall is mandatory, so, you know, playing scout, going from being a player to playing scout is always hard, but, you know, you just try and better yourself when you're in the redshirt year and get bigger and faster.
Yeah, I bet that's a humbling experience. But as you said, definitely a growing experience for you. What's it like to come out here tonight and watch your team playing and with a lot of the same receivers that you played with, but a different quarterback?
It's fun to see them play. You know, everybody's still pretty much a beast like last year. They're getting it done on the scoreboard right now, so pretty much it's fun to see everybody back playing. Quintus over here is doing a great job with the team. I think they're going to go far this year, and it's always good to see all the players that we played on the team with on the sideline with me.
Do you keep in touch with many of them still?
Oh yes, I pretty much talk to everybody still. I try and come down as much as I can. You know, laundry is hard in college, so when I do come down, I usually hang with my friends and whatnot. So
3 players have already committed to play at San Diego State next year. Have you had any hand in possibly trying to recruit them and hype up San Diego State a little bit more?
Well, I always try and throw a good word in for San Diego State. You know, I'm trying to have all the people I can from my Oceanside come to San Diego State, but I let them know that's their decision. But if you come to San Diego State, you're very welcome. I'm gonna welcome them, and I think they'll have fun, and they should help the team get better over time.
And then lastly, El Camino Oceanside, big rivalry. It's early in the year, which is a little different. You guys had the same thing last year when you changed leagues. What's your thoughts on tonight's game and maybe a prediction on a score?
Well, right now, 17-0. Oceanside's offense is still high-powered. The defense is shutting them down. So I don't think there's any way El Camino's going to come back. You know, I love El Camino. I got a lot of friends there, but Oceanside is the way to go. Anybody in middle school is thinking about going anywhere, Oceanside is the way to go. And this prediction for the score, I'm going to say 42, and I'll give them a 7. I'll give them a 7 because I love the coaches over there. They're my old coaches.
Well, that's good of you. Well, best of luck to you. Thanks for taking the time and interview tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, guys, you heard it here. Oceanside 42, El Camino 7. Back to you for the second half.
All right. Good to catch up with Osmond Nicholas. Good report, Stacy. We're going to get a look at some halftime highlights. So, Josh, we'll break it down here as our production crew gets those queued up. You see the score there, 17-0, Oceanside in control.
Yeah, 17-0 Oceanside. Very strong outing here in the first half. We're taking a look at Quintus Clark right here. Able to get the ball moving. You know, that was something that was necessary. You know, that he was going to be able to be comfortable and get the ball to some of those star receivers that he has, including King Holder, who took it for a long gain right there.
That was that big 44-yard pickup earlier. That drive stalled, and Velasquez with the field goal. That made the score 3-0.
And you see Quintus Clark dropping back, and Joita Te'i coming up with the big play. That one was on cue. As soon as we were talking about him, he came up with the big play. Pomelo was expecting big things out of him.
Good look at Oceanside's offensive line.
This is the one where Whitaker goes ahead and just breaks his ankles and jumps over and gets a touchdown. You'll see another one.
You see a little Heisman move at the end of that one? Kind of kicked his leg up. That was all right.
Doing that, he'll get a high school Heisman. And here he comes back. Instead of juking, he'll go ahead and run him over that time.
All right, 17-0 was the score there. Here was Colin Jones, the desperation heave at the end of the half. Picked off by King Holder, and that's a look at your halftime highlights. Score is 17-0.
Yeah, so far it's been a Holder versus Whitaker.
We're going to take a look at part of our crew here. Did I hear we're going to take a shot? There's Nate Strong on camera too. Hey, Nate. Yeah, okay. All right, that's enough. That's enough camera time for Nate. Let's go someplace else. Quick. All right, there we go. So I was playing director up here for a second. Good job, Nate. All right. Oceanside leads 17-0. And El Camino, they're going to need to pull off a Herculean effort here in the second half to not only get back into this game, but if they want to pull off the upset, it needs to start pretty much from Jump Street the second half. And there's Brandon McCrae. Are we just going to get a look at the whole crew tonight? We might as well.
Might as well.
Just go around the horn to Jake Rush, our producer. The KOCT crew having some fun tonight. Our first of 3 live high school football games of the week. We're going to do this again in 2 weeks against Long Beach
Big
Poly.
Game.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge game. There's Elena Gomez. Hi, Elena. All right. She's so over that. Who's next? All right. But again, in 2 weeks against Long Beach Poly, and then October 30th, we're going to see El Camino versus Vista.
El Camino
so
versus
3
Vista.
exciting games on tap this season with KOCT's high school football games of the week. And we thank you for joining us for this one and for the next 2.
Yeah, Vista has some brothers at the linebacker position, the Kose brothers. They also got a Jordan Alexander at running back, you know, and I think they got some talent over there. They started the season off with the victory.
All right, there's John Carroll,
the legend.
Oceanside's head coach. Got to feel pretty good about stuff, but knowing Coach Carroll, I'm quite sure he was picking out a few things that needed some improvement there at halftime. Well, you played for Coach Carroll. I'm sure you guys had plenty of big leads at halftime. What was his typical demeanor? Was he still coaching you up, still pointing out what needed to be improved?
He'll yell every halftime, even if you're up by 28, no matter what. He'll come in there like you're down by 28.
Right.
He yells every time, but that's just part of his approach. But he has a lot to be happy about, you know, starting with the way that his defense played. They held the El Camino offense to negative 15 yards rushing, held the passing game to 54 yards. And I'm not great with math, but I know that's about 30 yards that he held the El Camino offense to in the first half.
Nobody said there was going to be many math in this broadcast.
I probably would have failed.
All right. Well, the only math that matters right now is the 17-point deficit that El Camino faces. It's a trip to the Wild Animal Park. Some zebras out there. All right, we just made a trip down the 76. Thank you for the courtesy laugh in the truck. I do appreciate it. We're getting a little punchy up here. We're hoping for a little bit more competitive tilt here in the second half. Clock is frozen at 1. All right, now looks like we're counting it down about 90 seconds till second half action will begin. Art Root, Josh Naliai, Stacy Castleton, the entire KOCT crew, we thank you for joining us tonight. Also want to thank our special sponsor, Waste Management. Josh, did you realize that recycling 1 aluminum can saves the energy it takes to run a TV for 3 hours?
Wow, I did not know that.
And that's just 1 can. By recycling more than 32,000 tons of aluminum, Waste Management saves enough energy to run 1 million TVs for 17 hours per day for an entire year.
I need to go with the cans. You know, we recycle bottles, water bottles, that is. And so we need to go back to the cans.
Well, Waste Management leading the Green Initiative, that's for sure. And the Green Initiative being exhibited by Oceanside on offense and defense tonight has been exemplary. So as we count it down.
Yeah, that Oceanside offense is powerful.
Who is that? That's I think that's Dejon McMillan. He's on the basketball team, and he's enjoying some high school football tonight. And I can't tell if my director is messing with me or not. Are we giving gratuitous plugs? Okay, all right, I'm not going to do that then. Jake Rush is very mischievous tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Our director, our esteemed director, might need some more coffee. And there's Pulu Pumele. I'm sure he was hoping for a better result through one half of play, but there's still 24 minutes of football, and we'll see if El Camino can get something started here.
And I'm sure he probably wasn't as loud as Coach Carroll. He seems to be more of a player coach, take a more calmer approach than Coach Carroll does.
Velasquez kick, a good kickoff, taken at the 1 yard line. Good. Was that Markham on the return? Yes, it was. Dominic Markham.
Yeah, that was Markham on the return, and he has yet to use that wedge. You know, it seems like he's going in that direction, and then he ends up peeling it off to the left or to the right. Like to see what would happen if he does use that wedge. But Larry Smith on that last one just blowing up the wedge, so pretty much he didn't have any options anyways.
All right, we're going to take a look here at the Oceanside defense matching up against El Camino's offense. Been pretty one-sided so far. El Camino with 3 first downs in the first half, and they were all in the final 30 seconds of the half. So we'll see if the Cats can get something generated here. And not much doing there on first down.
And it looks like they're going to start it off on the ground. You know, despite being held to negative 15 yards, that seems to be their approach early here in the second half. And back in the game is Elijah Atoe, so that injury must not have been serious heading into the half.
All right, El Camino will split 2 wide receivers right. That's Markham, and Atoe is in the slot. Another whistle, another penalty.
Ball, encroachment, defense.
This time it's
Still
against Oceanside. Advance the ball 5 yards, and this gives El Camino a manageable down and distance situation here. Second, and we'll call it about 3.5.
And Oceanside looking to play the run. You see the corners there on man-to-man. You know, they're all alone on an island with their own receiver. And it's worked early in the half. You know, as we mentioned before, negative 15 yards rushing is what the Wildcats put up. You have to have a lot of confidence to put the DBs out there on a man-to-man.
Holders matched up against Markham on the near side. And the give there. That's Xavier Finney. We haven't called his number too much tonight. El Camino, since they haven't been able to establish much continuity, much momentum on offense, just Finney hasn't gotten a lot of touches.
Yeah, Finney hasn't gotten a lot of touches. We've seen a lot of Collins scrambling to the outside, a lot of long balls. Started to connect some there at the end of the second half, but not too much on the running game.
All right, that's going to bring up a 3rd and 3. No gain there for El Camino. 10-14 remaining here in the third quarter. Pirates in control, 17-0. Another penalty. Jones, a lot of pressure. That pass is short, intended for Ryan Ena.
Flags, and more flags today for the Wildcats. Seems to have slowed up for the Pirates.
Shift.
But the Wildcats continue
Offense.
to hurt
You got to
themselves.
decline it and go fourth down. Decline it and go for it. Illegal shift. Offense. The penalties declined. We have fourth down.
All right, that
You're up.
illegal shift penalty, as you heard there, was declined. That's going to bring up a fourth down and a punting situation for El Camino. Clock stops, 10:03 remaining here in the third as you see the Oceanside cheer squad. And the punt is on the way. Different punter this time as Whitaker makes the fair catch at the 48-yard line. That was punted by Anthony Mount. No, I beg your pardon. That was Eric Vasquez with the punt. Anthony Mount is his counterpart, number 1 on the Oceanside roster.
Yeah, Eric Vasquez served in that punting role last week with the absence of Elijah Leteau, and it looks like they've gone back to him. Earlier we saw Elijah Leteau on that fake punt. Shows that he has a nice throwing arm.
All right, so Quentis Clark adjusting the play at the line of scrimmage. The give there to Siluano. Running downhill. Bangs it out to the 45-yard line. That's going to be a nice pickup of 7 yards on first down. Quick hitter there.
Siluano's way. Must have had a conversation with them. You're going to see with that nice little stiff arm. Gets a couple of extra yards right there. Siluano, a great back. He's eventually going to start to get some big gains.
And Joita Tei on the tackle. Grabbed on with that left arm and did not let go until he dragged him to the ground, but not after a good pickup on first down. Gain of 7 for Rene Siluano. King Holder in motion. And the give is to Holder. Bouncing it outside. Going to turn it upfield. Gets first down yardage, then forced out of bounds by Eric Taylor.
That was that quick trap. Holder, instead of taking it inside, decides to bounce it outside, follow his block with Siluano, pick up a first down. Oceanside moving those chains, not having very much difficulty doing that today.
9:05 remaining here in the third. Clark and his offensive line. El Camino shows blitz. They drop out of it. That pass is batted down. Is that Ryan? I think it's Enna. Yeah, we'll call him Ryan Enna from here on out.
Yeah, first half I think we went with Ina. So we'll go Enna.
All
so
right.
you pick.
Sorry, Josh.
Joita Tei got a lot of penetration as we take a look at this replay. A lot of penetration from that left side. And Anna doing his volleyball spike. Who's that? St. John Smith, Randy Stoklos?
That's right, Karch Karai. That was I've seen Ryan Enna on the basketball court too. He can dunk with ease. So the kid's got some hops with that 6'5" frame, quite a wingspan. Pass too long for Demario Coleman, who had a step and a half on Markham.
Yeah, Coleman fast, but not fast enough on that one. Quintus just dropped back and went ahead and just lobbed it up there, expecting his speedy receiver to run it down, but unable to do it on that time. That's a good look at Demario Coleman. I guarantee you, over this upcoming summer, you're going to hear a lot of colleges that are offering this kid a chance to come and play for them for 4 years because he is that spectacular.
Well, El Camino's got a chance to stop the Pirates on downs here. 3rd and 10 situation for the Pirates. As King Holder goes in motion. Clark will roll to his left. All kinds of time. Fires in and out of the hands of the defender there, Michael Desiolas. J.J. Whitaker was the intended receiver through his hands. And Desiolas had it in the breadbasket and it popped out.
Yeah, finally proving he's human. Everything that's been thrown his way, he's come up with it. Whitaker unable to come down with that grab. Would have been a nice acrobatic grab. And Whitaker is a person that would be able to do that, but not on that time.
And the drive stalls for the Pirates. That's going to be a penalty. Looked like Anthony Mount may have flinched on the near sideline for Oceanside. Nope, they're going to call the offsides against El Camino. That's going to bring up a 4th and 5. And John Carroll's going to think about it a little bit.
And that's got to hurt if you're El Camino. Just when you think you're putting the defensive pressure on there, getting the lucky drop, they get a flag.
Yeah, and Coach Carroll just waved the left arm, keep the punt unit on the field, so they are going to go ahead and kick it away. Good punt. Markham comes up for it, takes an Oceanside bounce. That's going to go out of bounds at the...
Looks like about the 15.
16-yard line, so good kick there by Oceanside. Velasquez does his job.
First down,
and El Camino will take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory.
The Wildcats are expecting to get back into this game. It's absolutely crucial that they take this 85 yards and take it and come down with at least 7 points on this.
Still a lot of time left, but sense of urgency's got to be setting in here for the Wildcats. Jones rolls. Wide open receiver there is J.J. Taele. He's going to take it all the way down to near the 30-yard line. First down, and a nifty play call there by El Camino.
It's a nice play, and that's J.J. Taele, a.k.a. Little Polomalu for the Wildcats. See the number 43 running off the field. Nice grab. Also plays on the defensive side.
Another kid allergic to a barber.
It's a sign of strength. That's what Sheridan said.
That's right. I'm plagiarizing Tom Sheridan there. So, hey, Tom, that one was for you down there at the other side of the press box here. And that throw is incomplete. In the vicinity was Dominic Markham. 3 Oceanside defenders surrounded the area as well.
And Oceanside knows that they're going to have to pass in order to come back. Only 3 D linemen on that one. Dropping Thomas Malesi back into that linebacker position. They're playing the pass right now.
You see Colin Jones go over to the sideline. Talk to the El Camino Brain Trust. Put another play in here, see if they can get some momentum going. It was a nifty play call that picked up the first down a couple of plays ago. Maybe something to build on. Anything to build a little bit of confidence here for the Wildcats. Another 3 wide receiver set. Enna in motion. Jones rolls to his left. Big throw down the field and a wide open receiver. It's Dominic Markham. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, El Camino Wildcats. 71 yards on the completion to Markham. How's that for a confidence builder?
That's definitely a confidence builder. I don't know, some people are going to think this is a stretch that El Camino is going to come back. But with plays like that, it is definitely possible. And now the fans are back involved. Those El Camino fans were quiet for the majority of the first half. And with a play like that, once they get wild, that's going to build up the team, and they're right back in it.
It got really quiet here all of a sudden. The partisan crowd here, the El Camino, or the Oceanside faithful, are stunned. And on the far sideline, the El Camino fans, they're standing up now. They're into the game.
They're into the game. They're throwing the bazonkers out. There you see Dominic Markham coming up with the ball. A lot of speed on him. He zigzags out of Devin Taverna's way for the touchdown.
What was that little signal he gave at the end there?
I think he was throwing up an O for Oceanside.
All right. Okay. A little lull in the action here, but as we digest what just happened, 71-yard hookup from Colin Jones to Dominic Markham, very impressive play. I don't know if it was a busted coverage. Somebody missed an assignment because he got loose in the Oceanside secondary and nobody had 5 yards on him. And the extra point is no good. That's going to make the score 17-6. Oceanside still leads, but El Camino chipping away at that deficit.
It's not good for the Wildcats. They need every point that they can get because you know this Oceanside offense is going to come out and do something and put some points on the board on this drive. This is a very stingy defense. Most of those defensive players are also on the offense, and they're going to make sure that they come back and show their paybacks.
All right. Looking here to the crystal ball for a moment as we peer to the future for both El Camino and Oceanside. El Camino's schedule this season, next week, they play Escondido, then Fallbrook, Torrey Pines, Poway, Rancho Buena Vista. We'll have the TV game on October 30th versus Vista. Then they'll play Rancho Buena Vista on November 6th and wrap up the regular season on November 13th against Carlsbad. For Oceanside, next week they play Mira Mesa. Then in 2 weeks, Long Beach Poly. Then San Marcos, Westview, Mount Carmel as they get into league play in the second half of the season. Orange Glen on October 30th. Valley Center on November 6th, and wrap up the regular season against Ramona on November 13th. J.J. Whitaker takes it at the 24. Another nifty move and a spin move. What's the Xbox button there? Is that the O? Is that what's the spin move?
That's the left analog stick.
Left analog. All kinds of penalty
feisty.
flags. Action's getting pretty chippy out there. These two rivals, tempers are flaring. Eric Vasquez on the tackle for El Camino.
Yeah, and you're definitely going to see that in a rivalry game. If you can't win on the scoreboard, they're going to find some way to win.
Personal foul.
They see these kids all the time.
On the kicking team. 15 yards, first down.
That's a personal foul on the kicking team, so tack 15 yards onto the play, and Oceanside's going to have the ball in plus territory once again. Let's see if they're at the 44 now. That's going to move the ball all the way to the El Camino 41-yard line. So great field position for the Oceanside Pirates. 7:52 remaining here in the third. Pirates lead 17-6.
Yeah, and as we've been saying the whole game, this victory lies in the hands of this El Camino defense. They have to stop this offense. That little spark that they had in the offense the last series might be just enough to put some more points on the board to get them within this ball game.
All right. They tack on the yardage here. And during this dead ball foul, we also want to thank the folks at the City of Oceanside and the folks from the Oceanside Unified School District for their assistance in bringing this game telecast to you live on KOCT. We can't do it without their technical expertise, so we really thank you, and it's our pleasure to bring you this game live. Also live streaming on the internet at koct.org. King Holder with the carry. He's got some room. And with the burst down the far sideline, and looks like Tei on the tackle is slow to get up for El Camino. He is helped up. That's some good sportsmanship there as Thomas Molesi helps Tei to his feet. Pickup of 9 there for King Holder, going to be second and short.
Yeah, that's King Holder. And the thing you'll notice about Whitaker and Holder is they got great body control where they can just stop on a dime and make a cutback. That time, Joita Tei and Ryan Ina on the tackle.
All right, 7:24 remaining here in the third. We're going to get a measurement That is close to first down yardage. We'll see just how close. And the Pirates pick it up, so gain of 10 for King Holder. First down for Oceanside. Both cheer squads showing great school spirit there on rivalry night here in Oceanside. Clark with the pitch to Siluano. Nowhere to go there. Terrific tackle there. That is 31, and I don't have a name on my roster. Josh, maybe you've got one?
31 for El Camino is not listed.
All right,
on my
so
roster
31
either.
mystery player. Great tackle there for
Looks
the
like
Wildcats.
Siluano, though, limping off that field. Got that ankle acting up.
All right, we'll try and get identification on number 31, but we're going to get a replay of Siluano taking a beating tonight. And that tackle was directly on his left knee. Clark back to throw, and again, a misfire. Had King Holder out there. J.J. Taele on the coverage.
Yeah, Silualo already had an ankle injury coming into this game. Seems to have tweaked it again. You know, it's absolutely necessary that you have a strong stable of running backs when you have an inexperienced quarterback at the helm of your team. So we're going to see if Noah Tarrant can come in and carry the load that Renee has left behind. So I assume what they're going to want to do is eat up this clock. They're going to be handing off the ball a lot.
All right, this is a third down situation for the Pirates. 3rd and 13 from the 33-yard line. El Camino would love a stop here. Joita Tei absolutely destroyed that play. Devin Taverna, the unfortunate recipient of, I'll just say right here, anybody get the number of the bus that just hit him? I think it was number 51.
Yeah, Devin looked like he was expecting to explode right by him, but Joita Tei right there waiting for him.
Bam!
That's a katoosh.
We need some John Madden sound effects on that one. Clock running, 5:55 remaining here in the third. 4th down and 7. And the Pirates are going to go for it. El Camino shows blitz. They drop back into pass coverage. Clark, he's got a receiver wide open. Devin Taverna had 3 steps on the defender. Clark can't find him. Oceanside will give the ball up on downs, and El Camino's got to breathe a sigh of relief there because that's another misfire where Oceanside's had a wide receiver wide open in the end zone, and they couldn't connect.
Wide open. Devin Taverna would have walked into the end zone after he caught that. See some angry linemen on the sidelines there for Oceanside because they knew that would have been 7.
So El Camino will take over 1st and 10 from their 28. They trail 17-6, trying to claw their way back into this football game. Ato in motion. That pass to the near sideline is incomplete. The intended receiver there was Eric Vasquez. Tai Elisara with pass defense for Oceanside. Second and 10. Jones with the scramble. Great move there. Turns it upfield and then wisely slides safe at second base.
Jones just looked like he was gliding out there. Got a nice little stride on him, showing his ability to break ankles as well.
And then at the end of that run, a good self-preservation move as a smart quarterback will do.
Yeah, just taking a look at him. He's gliding out there with those long legs.
And then watch this. Whoop. Okay. It was a good move because coming in with a shoulder was Noah Tarrant, 5'9", 180-pound junior. Gain of 8 there. We'll call it 3rd and 2. The give there is to Xavier Finney. Gets outside. And that's going to be a personal foul, late hit out of bounds against Oceanside.
Yeah, it looked like a late hit on Noah Tarrant.
I beg your pardon there, Josh. Finney had already picked up the first down and then some extracurricular activity after the play. So add 15 to the end of that one, and El Camino all of a sudden is in business in Oceanside territory.
And Oceanside needs to watch out if this El Camino team scores. It's a whole new ball game. But there was a little bit of pushing there on the sidelines after Noah had that late hit.
Dead ball, personal foul, defense, 15 yards, first down.
All right, so El Camino just couldn't get out of their own way in the first half on offense. But here in the second half, putting a couple of plays together, add on a couple of penalties, and El Camino's got a chance to gain some real momentum here. And a good timing route there. That pass is complete. Break a tackle and another. That is Elijah Ato.
Colin Jones threw a nice ball on that one. Pretty spiral. Connects it to Elijah Ato. Shows his ability to break a tackle after he makes the catch and gets those extra yards. A little bit of momentum picking up here for El Camino. They're feeling like they belong in this game right now.
El Camino definitely finding their way on offense. Really, really struggled in the first half. We chronicled it in depth. Only 3 first downs in the first half, but a more dynamic, a more explosive offense so far here in the third quarter. Jones with the roll. He's going to keep it. Going to cut it across the grain. He's got some room to run. Got one more man to beat, but he cannot get past J.J. Whitaker. A great tackle by J.J. Whitaker saves the touchdown, and Whitaker is really fired up. Colin Jones very slow to get up. It looks like not only did Whitaker make a great tackle, but he delivered a punishing blow to Jones to boot. And Jones is in a lot of pain there on the far sideline, attended to immediately by the training staff. We're going to get a look at this. Jones with a terrific scramble makes one guy miss, 2 guys miss. Got a head of steam here, but so does J.J. Whitaker. He had one man to beat, tried to put a move on him, and again.
Charlie horse.
Submarined right there at the knees. Ball actually came out. Somewhat surprised that wasn't a fumble call. Wasn't sure if the ground knocked that out or if that ball was loose before he hit the ground, but El Camino will retain possession, but
that's a big blow to this Wildcats offense.
Absolutely. And
right when he was getting his groove, and he was grooving out there, working his way through that Oceanside defense. Now you see their leader there on the sidelines, which brings in Ryan Ina at quarterback.
All right, as they attend to Colin Jones, right knee is being looked at. Ryan Enna pressed into emergency duty here at quarterback. He's a great athlete. Offense, defense, can do it all. Stand out on the basketball team. And Colin Jones is up and walking, a very good sign as you see Coach Pulu Pomele and the El Camino offensive coaching staff sending in the plays to Ryan Enna at 6'5", towering over that huddle.
Going with the Brady with gloves at quarterback.
Or the Kurt Warner. The give there. And more penalty flags after J.J. Whitaker and Thomas Molesi make a terrific play on defense, also assisted there by David Vasquez.
Thomas Molesi, the emotional leader on this Oceanside team. And you see why. He makes plays on the field, and he also gets his crew pumped up.
Officials are going to talk it over here.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Offense.
Wow, that is costly for El Camino. Just when they think they're getting something going, play is thrown for a loss, and then a personal foul penalty back it up some more.
Can you say wind out of the sail?
Every time Tom Sheridan looks over my shoulder, there's a personal foul penalty. I'm seeing a pattern developing here.
Not me.
All right.
Don't blame the messenger.
Tom Sheridan, of course, a gratuitous free plug here. Former play-by-play guy for Oceanside, my mentor. And you'll see his byline all over the place on the North County Times. So read Tom. He's got the high school beat covered in addition to other sports writing duties for the North County Times.
That's a new quarterback in there, number 10.
Ball.
He's not on the
And
roster that we have. Ina coming out of the game,
Second
and
down.
number 10 subbing in.
I'm going to see if I've got a name for that new quarterback. I had a program here somewhere. I think somebody permanently borrowed my program. That happens a lot up here in the press box.
That's a great way to put stole.
Thank you. I found it with a little help. All right, let's see if we got a number 10. No number 10 in here either. Oh, well. Got a couple of mystery players for El Camino. All right, and the sack. That jailbreak in the backfield. Marquise Tokyo leading the charge. More penalty flags. That may be on Oceanside for excessive celebration. We're going to see.
Defense.
It is.
He did the Merriman, the Sayao, all in one, and the high step.
Coach Carroll is not real happy with that call, and yes, these kids are enthusiastic, but that kind of celebration is, to put it mildly, frowned upon in high school sports. So
he'll be sitting on that wall for at least a minute come Monday.
Is that the penalty?
Every time you get a penalty, you got to do them wall sits where you just sit on the wall. It just kills your thighs.
You never had to do that, though, right? Because
Nah,
you never
that.
committed a penalty
Never
in your
that.
career.
No.
Just discipline all the way for Josh Naliai. But that raises an interesting point here. When a game kind of gets chippy like this, how do the coaching staffs reel it back in? What do they do?
I think they just got to let the players play it out, unless it gets too much. I don't really think there's much you can do to calm down this rivalry. Definitely don't want to sub out one of your better players.
2-back set for El Camino, and that's going to be a penalty. Somebody jumped on the Oceanside side, and Joseph Darris also flinched for El Camino. We'll see who they call it on.
Dead ball. False start.
And that's going to be false start.
Offense.
That'll be false start against El Camino. Back it up 5 yards. Herbie's going to work. Herbie is going to work on the Oceanside sideline. Third and a mile for the El Camino Wildcats. Scoreboard showing 3rd and 26. I guess it is a 3rd and goal situation technically. It is indeed. And the give there is to Xavier Finney. And the running game, let's not mince words. It hasn't worked very well for El Camino tonight.
Yeah, and they're really limited on their play calling right now without Colin Jones in there. They're really getting into a groove with Colin Jones, and they've taken a couple steps back, which they're back in their old scenario, getting flags and being their own worst enemy.
Oh, and John Carroll is just lighting somebody up on the Oceanside sideline. Not sure what that was about, but he didn't look too happy about something. So 4th and goal from the 29. This will be a 46-yard field goal attempt by Casey McPerry, and that kick has no chance. No good. Line drive might have been partially blocked. I guess there's no such thing as partially blocked. I guess it was either blocked or it wasn't. Nevertheless, the kick was no good. Score remains 17-6. Oceanside in control, and with El Camino's signal caller injured on the sidelines, if the Pirates can put together a sustained drive here and get some points on the board, they may very well salt this game away.
Especially if Colin Jones doesn't come back into the ball game, which I can't see him right now.
There's King Holder and Devin Taverna. We also see Quentis Clark, entire Oceanside offensive line there. That low angle shot, great look by our production crew. Holder goes in motion, and the give is to Holder.
Wow.
Another move, makes a cut. Probably ran close to 50 yards in total distance, zigzagging across the field for a gain of, we'll call it 7 yards, 6 yards. So,
and Devin Taverna needs to work on his elusive skills. That's the second time he's assisted the Wildcats defense in bringing down one of the Pirates.
Well, sometimes those broken plays, you don't really know where you're the blockers don't really know where the running back's going to go, so
exactly.
The result, a little bit of confusion, they run into each other. Clark, short drop. That pass is tipped. Joita Tei got a big paw on that one.
Yeah, that big paw stands at 6'4", 270.
He's had a very good game tonight.
He has.
And Joita Tei at 6'4", 270. He's a senior. What do you think of his college prospects?
Well, Pomela had a lot of good things to say from him. You know, he's versatile. He can play that middle linebacker, defensive end, about a 4'8", 4'9". You know, so pretty fast for a person of his size.
He is intimidating there off the edge. J.J. Whitaker pass complete, and that play is stopped immediately. Going to be short of the first down.
I believe that was Ryan Anna with an aggressive tackle on that one. Usually when you see the basketball players on the football field, you know, they're a little bit more finesse. Ryan Anna showing that he could do a little bit of both.
That's going to bring up a 4th and inches situation, but Coach Carroll content to kick this one away. No point taking a chance deep in your own field territory here. And Velasquez, high, short punt. Going to take an Oceanside bounce. Markham will take it. That is a loose ball. El Camino falls on it. Markham couldn't get the handle. And it was that Xavier Finney falls on the loose ball. That was a very fortunate handle for Finney, because if he doesn't come up with that, Oceanside might fall on that and take it to the house.
Yeah, that was great coverage that time by Anthony Mount. He was right there, able to make the hit and a little bit jar it out.
15 seconds remain here in the third. Oceanside leads 17-6.
Now, Anthony Mount also plays those slot positions. Not going to get much time when you got a King Holder and a J.J. Whitaker in front of you. But he's trying to make plays every time he gets onto that field. He also backs them up at the cornerback position.
All right, so Anna at quarterback. Another penalty flag. And the officials are getting more camera time than maybe anybody else tonight.
A lot of flags here. You see Ryan Enna barking at his team.
Good look there at the El Camino huddle. Big offensive lineman there. I saw number 66 for El Camino, who I do not have on my roster.
Carlos Pacheco.
That's Pacheco? Okay. And Xavier Finney was hit, and he is still down, shaken up on the play. It was a hard-hitting physical game, and he is still down. And that is going to be the last play of the third quarter. Oceanside in control, 17-6. A hard-hitting physical football game, marred with penalties, plenty of big plays. El Camino made a huge play earlier in the quarter with the 71-yard touchdown hookup. But it looks like in this battle of attrition, El Camino is starting to get the worst of it. As Xavier Finney is still down, Colin Jones was shaken up earlier, and the training staff still attending to him.
You see this Oceanside crowd livening back up over here as we take a look. Everybody dancing over here in the crowd. All the students, the cheerleaders, all having a good time. There, a sense of victory.
All right, we're going to throw it down to the sideline. Stacy Castleton's going to give us her report after 3 quarters of play. Stacy, the stage is yours.
Hey guys, new attitudes based on old traditions. That's the theme for the Wildcats this season, and it looks like we were almost going to see some of those old traditions until that terrible injury to Colin Jones. That phrase was born, Coach Pulu says, out of everything that he watched unfold while Herb Meyer was at the helm of this team for so many years and winning those 8 Division I championships. His goal is to make these kids understand where this all started. When they suit up every night, they're not just suiting up for themselves. They're suiting up for everyone that came before them. They're suiting up for the former players and the family members and everyone else in the stands who stood where they once stood, representing the same team, wanting the same things. Pulu figures that he can instill this by providing a sense of leadership and never compromising the integrity of the discipline and the rules he's established. As only the 3rd coach in the school's 33-year history, he figures that's the least he can do. And he hopes that maybe one day he can brag a laundry list of achievements that's even a fraction of what Herb Meyer's was. Back to you guys for some 4th quarter action.
All right, thanks, Stacy. All right, and as we get ready for 4th quarter play, Xavier Finney still down near the 5-yard line, and hopefully we'll get a report on his condition, but a very concerned training staff is attending to him, and it looks like Coach Pulu Pomele is down there too. All the players on both teams have taken a knee in a sign of solidarity and respect for their comrade who is down on the field.
Yeah, the players are definitely showing respect. Talking to Pomela before the game, he said injuries was something that hasn't hurt them so far in this season. But losing Colin Jones and now Xavier Finney, 2 big pieces of that offensive puzzle that they were trying to put together in order to come back on this Oceanside team, which is making it a lot more difficult now.
All right, so as they attend to Finney, let's talk a little bit about the scouting reports for and as we talk about that, Finney is back up and walking under his own power. That's a great sign, so nice warm round of applause for him. But scouting report for both squads, as we head to the 4th quarter, Oceanside more of the same, keep applying the pressure. they've dominated the field, the battle in the field position tonight. We'll try it in English next time. El Camino, it's just been an uphill battle for them all night long. But hey, the deficit's just 11. That's a 2-score game, so they've certainly got a chance. And
but without a legit passer, I've seen it being I wouldn't say a task that they can accomplish, but it's going to be tough, especially without Xavier Finney as well as Colin Jones.
They're going to need the defense to step up. Joita Tei has certainly done that tonight. There have been a couple other standouts on defense for El Camino, but the Wildcats, if they can't do it with the offensive attack, might have to make some plays on defense to reignite the Wildcat attack. As Enna rolls, and he puts it up, and how do you do? The pass is complete there on the far sideline. It's Elijah Atto.
Just as I was saying, they didn't have a talented passer. Ryan goes ahead and throws it right down the field and comes up with a big gain.
Nice play there by the gloved one, Ryan Enna. We're going to get a look at this.
Ryan
rolls to his right.
Jersey being grabbed and all, tosses it down the field.
And look at that. It throws it off the wrong foot. Shoulders were wide open, and he had a lot of steam on that ball. Like we said, he's a good athlete. He can do it all, so you can see why they can press him into duty. And then, of course, the Jinx rears its ugly head once again. You praise a kid, and then a bad exchange, but El Camino does keep the football, so going to be a loss of, we'll call it 2 on the play, 2nd and 12 for the Wildcats from their own 39-yard line.
You know, Ena's the playmaker. He's the playmaker that's on the field right now with the ball in his hands. That sets El Camino up with their best chances without Colin Jones and Xavier Finney. Those Oceanside cheerleaders are deep. They got a lot of them.
The football team is deep. The cheer squad is deep. And the defense is deep. As Joseph Darris is buried there. Rene Siluano on the tackle, and he comes up limping. He has had a tough night tonight. He's taking some punishment.
Yeah, with his ankle already being injured, he just keeps on pushing it. But as you said, none of the kids want to sit out in this game. This is something that they look forward to every year, and he's going to keep on pushing it.
We've seen this before. Sometimes when kids are nicked, what's the word I'm looking for? Adrenaline, that's the word. Adrenaline gets you going for the first half. You get the layoff and the halftime break. You get to the third and fourth quarter, and all of a sudden those injuries get very, very stiff and very sore. That pass is incomplete, and another penalty flag is thrown.
Yeah, Ryan threw out a stiff arm to buy himself some more time. Not sure who the flag is on right now.
I don't know what the section record for penalty yardage is tonight.
But,
we've
got to be close.
Yeah, we're challenging it.
Pass interference. Defense. 15 yards. First down.
All right, so the 15-yard penalty for pass interference. That's a break for the Wildcats. They were bailed out on that play.
It's probably the first time in this game a flag has gone their way. Pretty much all of them have been on the Wildcats tonight.
All right, 1st and 10 Wildcats at the Pirate 45-yard line. Ryan Enna at quarterback for the injured Colin Jones. Little jump pass, just short. Enna improvising there. Joseph Darris was the intended receiver. And when your starting quarterback and starting tailback are out, you got to improvise a little bit in the playbook.
Yeah, and he's I would say, the most talented kid that they have available to them right now, and he's going to have the ball in his hand every play at that quarterback position.
We covered El Camino for high school basketball last season on KOCT, and Anna just loves to shoot it. You pound it into him in the low post, it's dribble, dribble, shoot.
He's a good
every
dribbler
time.
for a 6'5".
He is, and he's got this little turnaround jump shot. It's fantastic. And he can dunk with ease, so he'll be one to watch for the El Camino basketball squad, too. With a new head coach this year, temporarily anyway. As,
Johnson went to the East Coast.
Ray Johnson goes to the collegiate ranks for at least a season, so...
Yeah, I kind of compare him to like a John Carroll in the basketball mode. You know,
absolutely.
very successful. You know, just as successful as John has been over here with this Pirates football team.
Oh, without question. All right, so it's going to be a 2nd and 15 from midfield. Molesi forces the fumble. Oceanside falls on the football. That's Marquis Tokyo with the fumble recovery. And the Pirates are in great shape there with the huge defensive play. They're going to have the ball at the El Camino 35-yard line. You get a good look there at Marquis Tokyo.
Yeah. Tokyo and Molesi, 6'15", do a good job on the play. Taking a look right here. Ina fakes it inside. Molesi comes up with the play, forces the fumble, and Tokyo jumps all over it.
That might have been the hit of the game tonight. That was a matchup of two heavyweights. Tolesi goes 6'2", 280 against the 6'5", 220 Ryan Enna. That's a 500-pound collision there. The give there to King Holder. He's going to slip his way down to the 24-yard line. Good pickup there, going to be down. Good for first down yardage. Move the chains for Oceanside. Clock running, 9:50 remaining here in regulation. Oceanside can score here, though. It'll probably put it away because it looks like El Camino is really handcuffed on offense with two of their skill players out with injuries. Clark back to throw. Again, a miscommunication. If Coleman turns that straight upfield instead of aiming for the pylon, that's a touchdown. Those types of intermediate routes looks like they've been a bit of a struggle tonight for Oceanside.
Yeah, just a little bit. That's where you see when Oceanside is missing an accurate passer like a Jordan Wynn, that can put it in the right area. We've seen a couple of touchdowns that could have been for Oceanside had he have been here.
Is that a set pattern he runs, or do they make site adjustments at the high school level?
Well, the receiver makes reads on where the cornerback breaks.
Clark pressured, and that pass is intercepted. J.J. Taele, he's got Quentis Clark to beat. And Clark makes a touchdown-saving tackle. But a tremendous play on defense by El Camino. J.J. Taele with the interception takes it nearly the length of the field. But El Camino, we just talked about it a minute ago, they need to make a play on defense, and boy, do they ever.
And the defense stepped up right there. J.J. Taele coming up with a huge play on that one and showing his burst. I believe that was Quentis Clark that actually came up with that touchdown-saving tackle.
Clark threw the pick, and then he hustled all the way down the field, and there were blockers trying to get in his way. He fought off the blockers and made a touchdown-saving tackle.
Yeah, Clark was a safety last year. Came in, made a couple of tackles at that safety position.
And Pulu Pomele wants to talk about this, so they're going to call a timeout. So we'll catch our breath for a second. I think we're going to get a replay of this one. As the truck cues it up, Clark back to throw. In and out of the hands of the receiver, and Taele gets the tip. And look, he's got a convoy. They're setting it up for him. And you see Quentis Clark never gave up pursuit and makes a great play right there. Was he? Boy,
I think they missed that.
I think they did too. I don't think he was down.
I don't think he was down.
Wow. A little controversy there at the end of that play. Can you guys back that up and run the end of that one again? We want to take another look at the very end of that play.
Yeah, I don't
See if
think
they
his
can
knee
cue it
ever
up because
touched.
I don't think so either.
And if Pulu had
I thought
that
it was a
flag
sell
that they
job
do
by
with the
J.J.
pros.
Taele there, but maybe we can get another look at that. So, all right.
His knee did not touch the ground.
Jake, can you guys cue that one up again? All right, we're going to get another look at this one. All right, here we go. Going to wind down toward the end of the play, and was the knee down? Let's see. What a great look by our director and the production. Nope.
Not the knee or the elbow.
That should have been a touchdown. All right. Well, it was a bang-bang play, and at game speed, hard to tell, but we just got a great look in the truck. Super job by Jake Rush and the crew. That's Mr. Director to me, I know. So, all right. So, Darris with the carry. King Holder with the stop. So, Oceanside gets a break there on the missed call by the officials, and the result, it's still 17-6. We'll see if that ends up making a difference because now El Camino's got to score. They have to score a touchdown
Total
here.
difference if they would have been up in the end zone on that one, especially with their defense scoring.
The give to Darris once again, and running into a brick wall. That was 21 on the tackle. That's Sam New. What's new with... Never mind. 8:07 and counting here in regulation as El Camino trying to make this a ball game. Started off as an absolute blowout early. But the Wildcats are hanging around. And if they can score here, whether it's a touchdown or a field goal, it's a one-score game. But, boy, they sure could use a touchdown here to make it really interesting and put a real scare into the number 1 ranked Pirates. Enna's going to keep it. That's a broken play, and he is brought down. He saw a gap, tried to get in there, but Sam New had the angle and made the stop.
Sam New, 2 plays in a row coming up big here at the end of the game. He knows if this Wildcat team gets in there, it's a whole new ball game. Doesn't take much to get those guys going and those fans going as well.
And if that controversial play whistled dead there, the missed call ends up being decisive. Coach Pulu Pomele is going to hate to see that replay because this drive results in a field goal instead of a touchdown. It does make the score 17-9, but a little bit of intrigue here late at Simcox Field. The Pirates, though, they're getting a scare tonight. No doubt about it.
Yeah, and I think Pulu had an idea that J.J. Taele wasn't down on that run because you saw him pause, take a timeout there, trying to see what he can do. Do I have the ability to challenge that play as they do in the NFL, which he doesn't. And I'm telling you, they would have been right back in the ball game. Those El Camino bleachers would have been going crazy, and this Oceanside side would have been back to quiet again.
In Josh Neliai's perfect world, we'd have the blimp. We'd have the first down line, the yellow line superimposed. We'd have instant replay, 2-minute warning. if you were commissioner, CIF commissioner, there's just some of the things you'd put in right away?
That'd be one of the things I'd implement. I think it's a huge part of the NFL game, and I like what it does.
I'm just kidding, of course. So, all right, 17-9. Okay, now, you've been part of this rivalry as a player, as a spectator, as an announcer now. When you were at Oceanside, how did you guys do in the rivalry game? Because that's when El Camino was really probably at their peak of their powers. How did you guys do against El Camino?
We took them off their peak. We won both years.
Nice. That was what, 98 and 97 and 98? Yeah, 97 and 98. Okay. So two great programs back then in the late 90s, and the tradition has continued for Oceanside. Not so much in recent years for El Camino, but they're trying to reestablish that. As Whitaker takes the kickoff, and he is dangerous, to put it mildly, in the open field. Gets it out to the 34-yard line, but he's kind of like Darren Sproles or Devin Hester. Every time he touches the football, you hold your breath and think, at any time he could break it and go the distance.
Yeah, he's dangerous, and for some reason he chose not to take the sideline. He has ridiculous speed. If he would have hit that corner, he would have been gone. Nobody's catching him on that team. But for some reason, he saw something inside that made him cut back in. Gave the Wildcats a chance to take him down.
All right, so I'm sure Coach Carroll, after that last turnover, is stressing to his offense, take care of the football. Oceanside so explosive, and sometimes the big play offense, a tipped ball, a defender in the right zone can make a big play. So Oceanside got to take care of the football here. And that play is destroyed in the backfield.
That's Justin McMasters that comes up with a huge hit.
And all of a sudden it looks like the Pirates are on their heels.
Yeah, they're a little bit worried. They see what El Camino can do, even without their two key players that they have on offense. And this defense is amped up. They know that they lost a touchdown, especially J.J. Taele.
.6:05 remaining in regulation. Oceanside leads by 8, and another penalty.
Dead ball. False start. Offense.
Tides are definitely turning right now. An El Camino team that we thought was definitely out of this game is feeling it. They're feeling that they can come back into this game. Once they get this turnover, they'll be right back in it.
Well, and really since the middle of the second quarter, Oceanside's misfired fairly consistently on offense. And, the defense has played fine, but it's been the El Camino defense that's kept them in this game with a couple of big plays. So, in a game of big plays on defense and one home run on offense, El Camino is sticking around.
False start. Offense. Repeat, second down.
The tide is definitely on El Camino's side right now, as I think that's J.J. Whitaker that got the early start.
We might need to, I'm sorry, Josh, we might need to recharge the referee's batteries on his microphone there, because they have certainly gotten a workout tonight. Second and a lot from the 29. Call it.
I'm thinking they're going to DeMario on this play.
Actually, back to the 24. Well, you called it, Coach. Whitaker with a move. Loses Dominic Markham.
And Whitaker makes up for that penalty that he just had on that last play, coming up with a big play. I think that's only 2 times that we've seen Whitaker not be half amazing. It was when he dropped that pass earlier, and then when he jumped off sides that last play. But then he came back, and he made up for it.
Tell you what, though, is Tim Ware, our regular contributor on KOCT, who's a member of the coaching staff at Vista this season, because his son, Troy Ware, standout senior wide receiver for the squad. He says big-time players make big plays in big games. That's what J.J. Whitaker does right here. takes the pass, turns it upfield, picks up the first down, was second and a mile, bails Oceanside out, and now clock running 5 minutes and change, Oceanside in business at midfield.
Seemed like a little bit of face mask grabbing on that, even a helmet coming off, but not getting the call from the stripes on that one.
Yeah, King Holder was swallowed up there. Looked like number 59 for El Camino was in on the tackle, Taryn O'Neill. I beg your pardon, it was Jacob Thomas with the tackle, and Holder lost his helmet. All right, 2nd and 11. 4:15 remaining. In regulation, Oceanside leads 17-9. Clark. Yep, they're going to call pass interference there. J.J. Whitaker sold it. I think he earned it because I think it was legitimate. Eric Taylor was draped all over him. Doesn't seem to be too much argument from Taylor.
Yeah, Eric Taylor and Joseph Darris all over Whitaker that time. That would have been 2 blown calls in a row for the Stripes, who haven't really missed a call this whole game because they've been calling everything.
Pass interference. Defense. So we're going to go
Another penalty. This is a recording.
Beep. 15 yards. First down.
4:08 remaining in regulation. Oceanside 17, El Camino 9. The rivalry game living up to its billing. It's been hard fought, physical, chippy at times. A lot of big plays, a lot of penalties. Never boring. And the burst. Ball carrier there is Noah Tarrant, 5'9", 180-pound junior. Finds a crease in the defense. Turns it upfield, and he picks up a first down, move the chains, and
Noah Tarrant sharing some major
Josh.
quickness as you see him take the ball, heads off to the right, and he just bursts through, showing his ability to plant, take on a hit. Noah Tarrant actually a rugby player as well. You know, knows how to definitely take some hits.
Clock running 3:55, and I think El Camino's a little short on timeouts. So now clock management becomes an issue. Oceanside could just grind this thing out. And if they put a field goal at the least on the board, that could effectively end this game. We've been talking about that for a while, but El Camino just keeps making enough plays to keep it interesting.
Tarrant tries to take it up the middle that time. Eric Taylor and Justin McMasters in on the stop.
And another player shaken up on the play, but showing lots of heart. Noah Tarrant.
El Camino defense doing a really good job here in the second half. In Sparks.
All right, we're down to 3 minutes here. The clock, all of a sudden, the enemy for El Camino. They need a stop. They need the ball back.
J.J. Taele was all over that.
Absolutely. J.J. Taele, Joita Tei, 2 standouts tonight on defense for El Camino.
Yeah, definitely both coming up with turnovers. He was able to fight off that block and get into the backfield. Make a defensive tackle for loss.
And that's going to be a timeout. El Camino. It's at least their second use. It might be their final timeout. Not sure what their timeout situation is. We'll find out on that. 2:26 remaining in regulation. And Oceanside, the #1 ranked team in the county. 5-time defending CIF Division II champs, state champions in 2007. Probably the only thing that stopped them from a return to the state championship game last year was that incredible tie against Ramona last season. The only blemish on their record since you have to go all the way back to August 31st, 2007, a 28-20 loss to Helix. It's the last time that Oceanside lost a game.
Yeah, that was tough to bear. We thought we were going to actually be able to overcome that when the CIF was determining who was going to go to state, but they decided to go with Cathedral Catholic, and that was a great show by Tyler Gaffney that he put on over there. So they know they have to win all of their games this year, no ties, no nothing.
That's right.
If they want to go back to the Home Depot Center.
And boy, will they be tested in 2 weeks against Long Beach Poly at a minimum. Even though Poly lost their opener last week, and they've got a ridiculously difficult matchup tonight, they'll be ready in 2 weeks. And that pass is intercepted. Ryan Enna with the huge play on defense, and Quentis Clark, I guarantee you, wants that pass back in the worst way.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Looked like he just kind of pulled it down mid-throw. That is a critical mistake. And the Wildcats still breathe.
You go from potentially sealing off this game to giving the Wildcats a little bit of breathing room. They're going to come back here, and they're going to go deep. Quintus Clark coming out, scrambling to the right, thinking he sees something open, but what he sees is Ryan Enna coming up with the interception. And now they're going to bring him back out here at that quarterback position. Ryan Enna, very talented.
All right, so with 2:18 remaining, can El Camino do it? Can they march the length of the field, get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to make this thing one for the history books? Instead, Enna is, throws it up for grabs. Jake Feely had it and just dropped it. Penalty flags on the field.
Yeah, and I think that's going to go as a late hit on the sidelines. And what it's going to come down to is who's the more conditioned team. That's Coach Myers. His brother is actually the offensive line coach as well.
And you can read Coach Myers' lips there telling Ryan Enna, come on, take care of the football. What are you doing? Don't just throw it up for grabs.
He's like,
and Enna's out there just trying to make something happen, pressed into emergency duty here. But
he's like, I know you're tired, but this is the Oceanside game. We got a chance to knock off the CIF champs right here. You got to dig deep, and that's what I was saying. It's going to come down to conditioning. 6 starters that go both ways on this Oceanside team, a handful of them for this El Camino team as well. So that was the weakness that both coaches said, was that they don't necessarily have the depth that they feel is necessary to make the run. But they're always going to play their best players every time they can.
And to add insult to injury there, it looked like they called intentional grounding? How can you call intentional grounding when a pass is nearly intercepted? I don't quite understand that call. I mean, I guess. Well, I guess that's the right call, but loss of down, so that's just a huge penalty against the Wildcats. And the sack. Oceanside stepping up on defense when they need to. Thomas Molesi letting everybody know all about it. Jake Feely also in on the sack. And Ryan Enna very frustrated. He's going to be throwing from the shadow of his own goalposts here. 3rd and a mile. It is desperation time for the Wildcats. Clock still runs 1:35. They've got to get it all the way to the 35-yard line just to pick up the first down. So that's a 3rd and 29 situation coming up. Inside handoff there. That's not going to go anywhere, nearly a safety. And it looks like Coach Pomele may be surrendering here. He is indeed, as they send the punt unit on.
Better to go with the punt than to go with the safety, because the only direction they were going was backwards on that drive.
Actually, it looks like, yep, okay, that is the punt unit is on. Elijah Ato nearly at the back line. They're just going to let this clock wind down as far as they can. So, barring a miracle, El Camino has surrendered here. Looks like Oceanside is going to hold on. We're going to get a timeout. 34.8 seconds remaining. That actually it's going to be a timeout. I thought maybe it was a delay of game. Nevertheless, the clock stops. 34.8 remaining. This gives us a chance to thank the KOCT crew tonight. A tremendous job in the truck. Terrific replays all night long. Our director, Jake Rush, Gary Coopson, Russ Ferguson, Bobby Polsky, Tristan Sagan, Brandon McCrae, Aaron Capehart, Elena Gomez, Nate Strong, Marissa Scott. Is it Rihanna or Rihanna? Rihanna Hawley, Veronica Andrews, Phoenix Von Hendy, Bill Peters, Bill Sinatra, our sideline reporter, Stacy Castleton, my partner here in the booth, Josh Naliati, and my name is Art Root. We thank you for joining us tonight for live high school football right here on KOCT. As we wind this one down, just a couple of plays left, and we can look forward to the game in 2 weeks, but we'll finish some business here as El Camino is going to try and run it out of the end zone. They're going to throw it up for grabs. Receiver falls down. A little trickery there, and that's going to effectively do it. Oceanside's going to take over basically on the 2-yard line. 27 seconds remaining, and another player is injured. Elijah Ato was shaken up at the end of that play, and he is really frustrated.
You got the Oceanside players over there stretching them out with that cramp. Marquise Tokyo, Philip Lopez.
Yeah, this has been a physical game, and a lot of players have dropped here in the third and fourth quarter. Add another one to the list. You hate to see kids get shaken up. Let's hope it's nothing too serious. The way they're rubbing that leg, that looks like could possibly be another cramp, too. Really hot, really humid today. Mm-hmm. This is the kind of game that just takes a lot out of you. Hydration is a challenge.
Somebody has to get that boy some bananas. Hydrate him. That's like the third time he's cramped up tonight.
All right, so with 27 seconds remaining as they attend to Elijah there at the back of the end zone, we're going to see you again in 2 weeks right here on KOCT as the Pirates take on Long Beach Poly. As we talked about earlier, the Jackrabbits, a program that has produced more NFL players than any other high school in the country. They got beat in their opener last week, so they dropped in the rankings, but still considered one of the top teams in the state. We'll see how they look in 2 weeks as they come right here to Simcox Field, and we are really excited to bring you that one. We'll see you again after that on October 30th as Vista and El Camino square off in another rivalry game. So now this one, and all the games we bring you live on KOCT are available on Channel 19. We'll have multiple replays available for your viewing pleasure. You can also catch the rebroadcast on the internet via live streaming at koct.org. You can order a copy of this on VHS or DVD. For more details, you can also visit koct.org. I want to thank our sponsors once again, Waste Management. From the employees of Waste Management who work and live in your community, we wish the teams all the best. Think green, think Waste Management. John Carroll's going to get another win here. Just chalk up another one. And our player of the game, we'll have to think about this one a little bit. J.J. Whitaker with 2 touchdowns was spectacular. Thomas Molesi was a one-man wrecking crew on defense.
King Holder did some damage over there as well. Interception, doing his little thing over there on offense as well.
So we'll we'll mull this one over for a moment. We'll call in Stacy Castleton and get her thoughts on player of the game as well. So as Elijah Eto'o gets up and is helped off the field, he gets a nice round of applause. All right.
Yeah, it looks like they're in the victory formation.
That's good sportsmanship. We're not going to pull a Bob Stoops or some other head coach who would just love to just jam one in the end zone for ratings points. That's not going to happen here.
Yeah, and I think
I'm going to take a knee.
Having the Pomele on the other side, has something to do with it. But it comes down to that. When you're looking to go to the state championship, they're looking for how much you beat a team by.
All right, so after we run off this last play and count down the last 27 seconds, that'll do it. Oceanside survives a scare, but they beat the very game El Camino Wildcats 17-9 in a bruising slugfest of a game here at Simcox Field on the campus of Oceanside High School. We are going to take a short break. When we come back, Stacy Castleton will interview our player of the game, to be determined. So stick around for the KOCT postgame. Oceanside wins 17-9.
Sports fans, it's that time of year again. High school football is about to kick off. Be sure to tune in to KOCT Channel 19 this season to catch all the hard-hitting action live. Root for your favorite local team. For more information or to purchase a copy of your favorite game or program, log on to www.koct.org.
A day at the beach should be free of stress, worry, and especially trash. As environmental awareness increases, Oceanside residents are utilizing the recycling containers located throughout the beaches of Oceanside. The city has added numerous recycling bins to ensure the preservation of our local beaches and to keep recyclables out of landfills. Not only are you preserving the environment, but you are also preserving the community. Help keep our beaches a place to enjoy. Join us in celebrating a green Oceanside everywhere you go this summer.
Does your nonprofit organization, club, or band need some extra publicity for an upcoming event? Well, KOCT is giving you 5 free minutes on our station to get the exposure you need to make your event a success. It's simple. If you're a part of the Oceanside community, you can call KOCT to reserve a slot on our show, Oceanside Spectrum. Remember to book your spot 2 months in advance of the event you'd like to promote. Each show of Oceanside Spectrum is shown twice a day for 2 weeks here on KOCT Channel 18. Or you can visit our website at koct.org for programming dates and times.
Express yourself. Explore teen summer reading at your library.
All right, Oceanside wins 17-9 in the rivalry game. They retain. Is there a trophy for the rivalry game?
No, I don't think there's a trophy.
It's just Oceanside pride, right?
But there's a lot of pride that's on the line.
Absolutely.
And Oceanside continues to carry that, at least for another year.
That's right. El Camino has not won the rivalry game since 2006. So that losing streak continues, and it's been dominated by the Pirates in pretty much most of the last 10 seasons. All right, we're going to see some highlights. And that was the field goal attempt that made the score 3-0 early. And we're going to see J.J. Whitaker with a great move. And the score, a little Heisman pose at the end there. That was his touchdown. And the roll and the pass there to Whitaker, that was his second touchdown, so 2 touchdowns on the night for J.J. Whitaker. Colin Jones with the throw deep to a wide-open Markham. Dominic Markham walks in, 71-yard touchdown. That made the score 17-6, and it was a game. Casey McPerry with the field goal. That made it 17-9, and that was crucial.
That was crucial.
Because we saw this later. Actually, wrong play, but before that field goal was the huge interception return by J.J. Tayele, where he was ruled down, and he really wasn't. And you see this one with Siliwano tripped up by his own teammate. That was in first half action. Siliwano, a lot of bumps and bruises tonight. Quentis Clark, a rough outing for him tonight. He's going to have better games than he had tonight.
Yeah, definitely. He had some passes that were overthrown, underthrown, just wasn't quite on the money today. Had a lot of open receivers, just wasn't able to connect as much as he and the coaching staff had thought that he would today.
All right, so a good test for Oceanside tonight. You had to figure they were going to be big favorites against El Camino, and El Camino gave them all kinds of trouble tonight. El Camino gives you some matchup problems on defense. I liked a lot of what they did, a lot of the schemes they were running on defense.
Yeah, they do. And one of the other things that J.J. Whitaker did was not only score the 2 touchdowns, but he also took out Colin Jones when they had the momentum coming, and it would have been a totally different game.
And that's something that we'll see how it affects El Camino downstream, because depending on the Jones injury, that really changes the complexion of their whole offense. Xavier Finney went down too.
That's right.
So El Camino, try as they might, the defense kept them in the game, and Jones with the big arm with the touchdown to Markham. But the difference right there was the inability to make those plays late when they needed to step up on offense, and just a little bit too much Oceanside defense and a little bit too much inexperience at the skill positions for El Camino when it mattered the most.
Yeah, and Ina looked like a decent quarterback while he was out there, but then you're taking him away from that wide receiver position where he's lethal.
Yeah, it changes everybody's role. You're moving probably one of your better wide receivers to quarterback. You've lost your best running back. You've lost your best quarterback, so everything gets out of whack there. So tough break for El Camino tonight on the injury front. We'll see how that affects them. Oceanside didn't escape unscathed either. Rene Siliwano really banged up tonight. He was already nursing a sore ankle. He came up gimpy a couple of times.
Yeah, I definitely got tweaked again tonight on a couple of different occasions. On one that you've seen where he got tripped up by Noah Tarrant, and then another one where he was on defense and he just came wobbling off.
And I'll tell you what, Oceanside does not have an easy out next week at Mira Mesa. The Marauders, every year, pretty solid. They had a rough opening game against Vista last week, but the Marauders will come to play. Coach Gary Blevins will have that team ready to play, and John Carroll, he'll have Oceanside ready to play too. El Camino next week, they have, drum roll please, they're playing Escondido next week. So
Ricky Seal.
That's right. Wow.
And Zaire.
Out of the frying pan and into the fire.
Wow.
Talk about matchup problems. Ricky Seal, dynamic. Fantastic. All right, we're going to take a short break as we wrap things up here with our post-game commentary. When we come back, we promise you this time, Stacy Castleton's going to have our player of the game, and by unanimous decision, it is J.J. Whitaker. So stick around
Excellent
for that.
Game.
As we come right back, post-game continues right here on KOCT.
I'm John Bonasaro. Tune into KOCT's Voice of Oceanside, the show that tackles the latest topics in North County. There's no better way to stay informed with local politics, economic developments, and environmental issues. Log on to KOCT.org today for an up-to-date program schedule or to watch Voice of Oceanside and other KOCT programming on demand.
Okay, there's your final score. Oceanside wins the crosstown rivalry game 17-9. And our player of the game is J.J. Whitaker with 4 catches, 62 yards, 2 touchdowns tonight. Also had 2 carries for 14 yards. He is going to be talking to our Stacy Castleton momentarily. But final thoughts on a bruising matchup tonight, Josh.
Yeah, well, I think you've seen just how dangerous J.J. Whitaker is. You know, they spread the ball a lot more this game than they did in Nevada. But J.J. Whitaker is definitely going to be somebody that they need to stop. Somebody that we really didn't see a lot of today is DeMario Coleman, but I'm sure he'll be somebody that will start setting some stats on fire as the season goes on.
All right, it looks like J.J. Whitaker has been held up by somebody else here, so we are going to close it up tonight. Congrats to J.J. Whitaker, player of the game. Congratulations to the Oceanside Pirates. I'm going to throw it down to Stacy for our closing thoughts. All right, Stacy, and are you ready? Live TV, don't you love it? Stacy Castleton, take it away.
All right, so I guess I'm solo. J.J. Whitaker is the man of the night. Great matchup. As with every rivalry, it didn't go off without a hitch on either side. El Camino really proved itself that it could stay in the game and it could manage conflict. Unfortunately, they weren't able to manage it well enough. Hopefully the injuries won't be too severe for them. And Oceanside, well, there's not really a whole lot more to say about Oceanside. They are what they always are, great. So, thanks for joining us tonight. Be sure to join us for our next game on September 25th when the Oceanside Pirates take on another state-ranked opponent, Long Beach Poly. Thank you to everyone at KOCT, without of which this would never be possible, and have a great night.